Alright, well, it's just me right now. I'm trying to figure out how to balance this because I feel like it looked okay before. And then all of a sudden it looks like funky. And I don't know what the deal is there. Because I want it to be big enough to be legible. But I also want it to be not the entire screen, obviously. See, and if I shrink it too much, there's not really much to it. The OBS is being a little bit stupid. Ah. There should be a way to stretch this out. That ain't it. I'd like for it to be. I guess I'm just gonna fucking boomer it. Because I want it to be like essentially tall and thin instead of. And then I'm worried if I crop it, it'll cut off the text and you guys can't see it. Oh, whatever. That's fine for now. All right, so I'm waiting on Shamrock. She said she's got I don't know. She was finishing up a stream and then needs to take her dogs out or something. I'm gonna play a game to kind of knock the rust off. It's been a long time since I played Halo multiplayer, so I'm not gonna promise anything about my performance here. Even when I played a ton, I was never a great online player. I mean, back in the day, I was able to get to level like I think 32 or 33 on Halo 2, but that was a long time ago. You know, when you're a kid and you have every summer day to sleep until 10, play for 10 hours, 12 hours, and then go to bed at midnight. Obviously, now as an adult, I play once every few months and I can barely remember the buttons. What's up, Istad? Hey, Mr. Divine, how you doing? Did you get caught up on The Boys? Fucking masterpiece. It's unbelievable how far that show fell. I mean, I wouldn't say it was like a great show in season 1. I thought it was solid, but it really overstayed its welcome. Oh, you son of a bitch! I'm already off to a good start. Motherfuckers! It's been so long since I played the old school ones. I'm wanting to try to sprint and shit, which isn't even possible in these games. Sorry, I'll just try to go plus or minus 0. Whoops. Oh shit. All right, well, we had a guy quit and I shot one of my own teammates, so not a great start. Oh, I think my guy was just kamikazing like a total douche. Jesus Christ. This is embarrassing. This guy Snack Attack Jack or whatever the fuck is just destroying us. You think The Boys had its audience? Well, it's weird because I felt like The Boys was fairly mainstream considering like how vulgar it was, you know? And the fact that it just turned on them and was like, everybody get fucked. It's just crazy to me. Oh, they're all camping. So it's 4-on-3 and they're camping. Jesus Christ. Fucking 20 years later, still total bitches on here. Now I have to run into this base and just throw grenades because these guys are fucking hiding. Yeah, The Boys, man. That was crazy. Oh, that guy has a shotgun. Jesus. Oh, and a teabag. Fucker. Who was it that just killed me? I wish I was paying attention. Give a fuck if I go -10. I want the teabag. Asshole. Yeah, The Boys. I felt The Boys was pretty mainstream. And then for them to just tell their entire audience, get fucked. God, I am fucking embarrassing myself right now. It's just strange to me. Like literally, when you have the director saying, if you don't like it, fucking don't watch. That's always like, you know, when your show is just on the way out, like you've become a total prick and you're the asshole. Like, oh, we made the money that we wanted and now just eat shit, essentially. I just think it's so disrespectful to the fans. Come on, man. Thank God. I don't ever remember the fucking... Oh, that's a good spawn. Asshole. I don't ever remember The Boys like as a comic or anything. But it's just crazy to me that he just straight up was like, you guys are all fucking assholes. We don't like you. Leave. I don't know. Like it just really bothers me that these people make their money and then just tell the fans like you're a complete asshole. So it's like, okay, like you were completely fine with getting my viewership, my money, and my time until you got rich. That's Hollywood Day pushing their agenda. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe because I'm just like a normal person. Like, it's really hard for me to imagine. Like, say my fucking YouTube channel just blew up tomorrow, right? And I started having, whatever, enough videos or enough views to make a living, right? I couldn't imagine telling you guys, like, okay, thanks for watching here and there, but I actually don't want you watching anymore. I've got the people I want watching. Like, fuck you. That's just crazy. Like, I don't know. Like, do they just have no gratitude for the people that made them rich? Oh, it's 4-on-2. I was wondering why we were getting fucking destroyed. I mean, besides the fact that I suck balls. Alright, there we go. A kill that actually made me look decent. But mainly because I snuck up on him. Oh, fucking shotgun. I heard about Gen V, but I never heard anything about it. Like, I heard that it came out, and then it just kind of vanished. I can't remember if I heard that it was bad. Oh, Reaper covered it? Yeah, Reaper's good. I mean, from what I've seen of him, he's been on Open Bar a few times, and I've seen some of his individual videos pop up in my feed. He seems to be pretty consistent with whatever. I don't know if you want to call it that crowd or whatever, but you know, the people who try to view like writing as the priority and be, I think, fair without just sucking everything off, you know. But Reaper's pretty solid overall, and I didn't see his video, but I did hear it. Just I think the only thing that I heard was it was kind of shitty, but mostly it was just nothing. Like, it just fucking came out. No one cared. Oh shit! Did I pull up the wrong chat? Damn it! We're getting fucking blown out anyway. Oh, there we go. I don't know why that just was delayed like that. Piece of shit. Fucking beam rifle. Oh shit, I got fucking spawn killed trying to fix the chat. There we go. That should fix it. That was my teammate bitching. I guess their guy's shooting through the walls. But no, to me, I feel like when you don't hear anything about a show, like how we're talking about Gen V, I feel like that's the indication of just no one gave a shit. Like no one cared about Halo. That's why, outside of the hardcore Halo fans, I've never heard the Halo show mentioned in like the broader context of TV or culture or anything. Just completely irrelevant. And Gen V is another one of those to me. Like it came out, no one watched, no one cared. I wonder if it was original or if it was based off of the comics or something. Or like a spin-off. Fuck, where is he? This game's embarrassing. I hope Shamrock's not any good or she's gonna fucking quit on me. Fuck. Damn it. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy if you think about how much stuff actually comes out right now and how much of it is just straight trash. Like, there's all this money going into these shows, and it feels like so many of them are just garbage. Like, even stuff like that I have no interest in, like The Watchmen or whatever on HBO. I heard that was horrible. You have stuff like Batwoman, stuff like the Superman show that just kind of disappears into nothing. And it's like, what is going on that all these shows are getting funded and they just keep fucking making them? They mentioned a college superhero in the comics, but never a spin-off issue. Oh, I see. So yeah, so it was an original thing set in the boys' world or whatever. Yeah, I mean that makes sense then why it fucking sucked ass. I mean, we can't even get stuff that has like established lore to be respected, like Star Wars or Halo. Wheel of Time got shit all over. It just seems like everything that comes out is just a vanity project for. Thank God this game ended. Fucking 4-on-2. I think I was about -15. But yeah, like there's just nothing that comes out that maintains any kind of consistency or respect for anything. How is -20? Holy shit. Let me get out of this group. I was hoping Shamrock would be ready after one game, but I guess her dogs had to take a shit or something. But yeah, I was actually just watching. What do you think made Fallout successful? See, I think Fallout has kind of the same thing going for it right now as The Mandalorian did, or kind of The Boys. Actually, I think those are all kind of the like equivalent things. Hold on, let me turn my fan on. It's a little bit hot in here. 1 second, I'll finish that thought. Sorry. So for Fallout, I think Fallout, Mandalorian, The Boys all had kind of the same thing going for them. What the fuck? Where's the chat? Why is it not? Okay, there we go. I don't know what the hell's going on with this. I think they all had the same thing going for them, which is they had the goodwill of the fans to start, and they also had enough of a veneer of caring about the show that people wanted to like it, so it got support from the fans. Like, I think The Mandalorian, The Boys, Fallout, like aesthetically, like all the surface level stuff they did well. But when you actually start looking into the story, the world building, the characters, that's when you get your issues. And, you know, for 90% of the audience, I don't know why I just sound like Christopher Walken, but for 90% of the audience, if you're a normal fan, you'll end up enjoying it and having a good time with it. That's one of the things that I think actually fucked Halo up, is that it wanted to be so serious that it wasn't fun. Like, as bad as the Halo show was, if the first season had just had a little bit more fun, maybe had Sergeant Johnson, you know, a little bit of the camp, I think it would have gotten a lot more support. Even though it was horrendous, just because like the fans want to like it. And then for Fallout, I can't remember the lady's name with the big eyes, the guppy looking lady. She did a good job. Walton Goggins is obviously super charismatic, and he was a big part of the show. You know, visually, I thought they did a pretty solid job with a lot of it. Fuck. I thought they did a pretty good job with a lot of like the surface level stuff. And it takes someone who's a little bit more, I don't know if I want to say autistic, but kind of. Like, you know, your maulers, like people who care about people who care about writing, who care about world building. Those are the people that when they look at the details are going to go, oh fuck. Like, this doesn't make any sense. This character is fucking retarded. So, you know, obviously someone like me, who I'm not nearly as detail oriented as Mauler or anyone like that, like, I'll notice the bigger issues and I'll get irritated. But I'll say, you know, overall it's average but fun. But then the people like him who are hyper autistic, they'll notice all that shit. They'll point it out. And then once, you know, I think the really good thing about people like Mauler and like the EFAP crowd is I think that they are very good. Oh, that was a bullshit spawn. I think they're very good in the long term about being right. Because all that surface level stuff, once it fades away, you know, that's when you get people turning on the show. So The Boys, Fallout, Mandalorian, they all had a good feel to them. And like the kind of the mood was right for the show. But then once that wears off and people start really kind of following the plot and what's going on, that's when people start to turn on it. And I think that's what's happening with The Boys. Is The Boys had a pretty, you know, unique atmosphere. But then once that's gone, it's just kind of a bunch of assholes with a really incompetent story. Halo 1 had the worst spawns, man. Jesus. What's up, Jakin? Is it Jakin or Jockin? I saw the fucking show and I can't remember now because I blocked that whole thing out of my fucking memory. Jakin Hagar. I think it's Jakin. Said they got the feel right. But man, I didn't like the BOS character, or the Brotherhood of Steel character. I like Thaddeus because it seemed like he paid attention and actually learned what was taught. Yeah, see, and that's the problem too, is that a lot of shows do the thing where they have the person that they want you to root for, and the show is presented in that way, and most people will accept it. But there comes a point, and it's different for everybody, where it's just so egregious that the audience is like, well, this character is actually an immoral sack of shit. Like, a pretty obvious example of this would be like Wonder Woman 1984, right? Where she has sex with Chris Pine in someone else's body. And it's like, hey, that's like rape. So everyone understands that. And I think you kind of see that with, was it Maximus? I think it was his name, who throughout the show just seems like a total jackass. But then he keeps getting promoted, and you're also supposed to root for him and is it Lily to end up together? Like people will see through that stuff over time. But if it's not too egregious, I think on the surface, people will overlook it for a while. Right? And that's kind of what we're seeing with The Boys, I think. And that's why I made the video that I did, because I'm just shocked that people were like, oh, this show is actually dog shit. And also it's very political. These spawns, man, are fucking wild. Lucy, sorry, thank you. Mr. Divine. I said Lily, Lucy. Yeah, like, and that's like, you're supposed to root for them to be a couple, I guess, but it's like, why? You know? Like, the dude was an asshole. And kind of a buffoon. And then, you know, like the stuff with Matthew Rappaport, where he's like literally telling the guy, come save me so I can torture you to death. And it's like, okay, so everyone's just a complete fucking idiot then. And, you know, I think, to me, that's like one of the best things about sort of YouTube and like the film critic sphere or circle or whatever you want to say, is I think a long time ago, people would have just all not really paid attention and accepted that kind of thing. But when you have all these online autists, like your Maulers and whoever, you know, Drinker, I wouldn't say Drinker's an autist, but he's, you know, obviously a good critic. Little Platoon, whoever, like they'll point out this stuff, and then when people realize it, they're like, oh yeah, like they are doing this stuff that's like really fucked up and really lazy, and it's not a good story, even though it felt like it was at first. Oh shit. So I think that's where a lot of these shows that used to skate by are now getting scrutinized. Oh, fuck you. Are now getting scrutinized way more. And that's why we're seeing these sort of massive drop-offs. Damn, we had a guy on our team with 30 kills. I feel like a lot of movies and shows ship characters and don't want platonic relationships. See, that's an interesting thing too that's happening, is there's this weird thing right now where I feel like the romance from the creator's perspective is actually being kind of gutted. But then from the fan perspective, like the fans do want relationships that don't make any fucking sense. I don't know if you guys watch Jujutsu Kaisen or not, but there's a massive like shipping thing there. And obviously you get this in like Mass Effect also. You know, you get it in any kind of somewhat nerdy series where, like, for instance, the Jujutsu Kaisen, people ship like Gojo with every male counterpart in the show. So I think the fans have become really like wanting that stuff, but then the creators are like shying away from it because of whatever weird Me Too mentality shit's going on, or if they feel like their relationship was toxic. It's hard. It's so hard to say because there's so much incompetence. Like Kylo Ren and Rey got put together, and Kylo Ren was a fucking lunatic. Like that relationship was about as unhealthy as of a fictional relationship as you could have, but they did it anyway. But then meanwhile, you know, something like Aang and Katara in Avatar, like the live action, they really toned down all of the romantic aspects between the two. like I would almost say they've stripped him out completely to the point where I'm not sure what they're even going to do for the next couple seasons because they altered it so much. Like I would say probably one of the best filler episodes for Atla was, I want to say, was it episode 5 of season 1, where he wants to ride the big fish, and they go to the island, and he's getting all this attention for being the Avatar, and it's like him and a bunch of little girls, and it's kind of going to his head, and Katara gets jealous, and Aang gets full of himself. And, the whole lesson in the episode is that she shouldn't be jealous, but he also shouldn't let his ego go out of control. And then, that kind of puts into perspective like the early signs of their feelings. And that entire dynamic from the show is just gone. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I agree with you. People ship weird characters. You've always had the Frodo and Sam are gay thing and all that. But then there's like this also push for no one to have any sexuality and be like androgynous. I mean, even Dune, I think, as an adaptation, like themes wise, it did a pretty good job. But in the book, and it's been a while since I read it, so hopefully I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure from the first book to the second book, which for the movie people is part 1 to part 2, you go like a 4-year time jump or something, because Paul's mom has a little girl, and she's like a very big important character in part 2 of the book. And I think Paul is already married to Chani. They have a kid. And then when he gets married, and then when he does like the political thing at the end of Dune Part 2, where this is a spoiler, I guess, where he tells the Emperor, like, I'll take your daughter and not kill you. And like, I'll take over the galaxy, blah, blah, blah. Purely political marriage. Chani is like completely on board with it. But in the movie, they had her play it much more like she was a little bit salty. So even like what I would say is a fairly good adaptation, solid movie overall, not great. You're getting this weird push to like strip out any kind of romance or like emotional dependence or sexuality from the characters. So, yeah, I wasn't planning on going on a tangent about character shipping, but I do think it's a fascinating thing to try to watch. And then this also, I think we talked about this I don't know if it was last stream or 2 weeks ago, about how they're trying to make all the women men, like personality bodies. She was salty because Paul promised her he wasn't going for power. Yeah, and see, I think you're probably right as far as like interpreting the movie, but in the book, that's what I'm saying. Is like that's another like little subtle change they made, because in the book, she was all on board with it. Like she's a, full believer, just like oh my god, I'm blanking on his fucking name. The Lisan Al Gaib fucking meme guy. Oh my god, I have to look him up now. It's gonna drive me crazy. But yeah, like those are all like those little changes they made, and it could be a story choice. I don't know. But to me, Javier Bardem, Jesus Christ, I couldn't remember his name. Yeah, she's Paul. And then I actually only read the first Dune book. I never read the next short one. She's Paul's concubine. Yeah. I never read was it Emperor or what's the fucking book called? Because there's Dune and then there's Dune. Is it Messiah? Maybe. I think is the second one. Oh, whatever Lady Jessica was Toledo. Yeah. Because the Bene Gesserits are essentially like glorified concubines with a lot of other shit going on because they're witch powers and all that. The voice, and then they have their own kind of machinations with political maneuvering and all that. Yeah, and then Chani was Paul's concubine, right? Since she was one of the Fremen, and then his actual official marriage, Messiah. Okay. Yeah, so I'm guessing the Dune trilogy will just be Messiah, and they won't get the Children of Dune. I don't think. And it sounds like they've already started production, which is good. Because I'm pretty sure they had a 3-year gap between part 1 and 2. And I feel like you lose a lot of the kind of momentum now, which is sad that the attention spans are so short. She's scared that he's going to be blinded by his power, which is what happens in the books. Yeah. Yeah, see, I thought she was afraid of that, but then also was like devout for like the Holy War or the Jihad or whatever they want to call it in the book. But it's been a while since I've read it. I mean, I listened to it, 10 years ago, and I think I listened to it again maybe 4 years ago. So I could definitely be getting some of the details wrong. I'll try to squeeze in another game while I'm waiting on Shamrock. Yeah, I mean, that's Messiah is the last film from Denis to direct. Okay. Well, Messiah wraps up Paul's story anyway, right? I mean, I know the books keep going for a while, and then you get stuff with his kid, like Leto the Second, or all that, and I don't know. I heard they get kind of crazy, but I actually haven't read them myself because I liked the first one a lot, but it felt like a pretty complete story to me, and just very I'll be honest, they're hard reads as far as fiction goes. Like, it's not like a super accessible book. Like something like Harry Potter, I think anyone of any age could read and you'd be fine. Even like Ender's Game. No, there's a lot more, yeah. I wonder if we'll get an original ending then. If there's a lot more to the story. Yeah, that's what I thought I heard. And like, I don't know if it's him or one of his kids turns into a sandworm and lives for thousands of years or some shit. It sounds bizarre from like just kind of like browsing. Fuck. Damn it. Yeah, it covers Paul, and then next is Leader the Second, and it gets nuts. Yeah, I know at some point, Frank Herbert died, right? And his son took over. And that's kind of what I think where people, is it Paul Herbert maybe? No, it's not Paul Herbert. It's, fuck, I can't remember the guy's name now. But, yeah, his son took over. I heard he just like butchered everything. Which, I don't know if he's a leader. Leader 2 is the God Emperor. Okay. Also, I'll be honest, I've played a lot of Combat Evolved, and I've never seen a fucking flamethrower. So I have no idea what this mode is right now. Yeah, I just heard they get really wild, and then I heard that the son was not nearly as good of a writer as Frank Herbert. So then he kind of just took it off the rails, and then It's also one of those things where maybe Frank Herbert, was a good writer, but then wanted the story to keep going way longer than it should have. I mean, that happens all the time too. I think, like, where an author just has a story that needs to end, and for whatever reason they just don't want to end it, whether it's money or status or whatever the case is. I mean, they're still people. I mean, I think this is more obvious in like TV. I think people are more forgiving with books, but Frank Herbert's son finished the last two. Okay. Yeah, I've mainly just heard people talk about how they just seemed like they were just completely like drug induced insanity. It's kind of the general consensus from what I've heard. You know who needs to end their story? Good old George R. R. Martin. Yeah, I know you need to get a hard R into the chat and lay into him. Yeah, I'll be honest, I've completely checked out of Game of Thrones because it's just so irritating knowing that he's not going to finish. And that's one where I feel like it just makes him an asshole. Like I know that they have their stories and whatever, but like your fans made you worth $100 million. Sit your fat ass down and finish the book. Fuck. I don't know. To me, it's just a bitch move. Like, yeah, I'm going to get rich off you guys and then see you later. But, I mean, maybe we'll end up with a situation like Wheel of Time where Brandon Sanderson takes it over or something and finishes it. I've seen a lot of people call for that. Like, just wanting someone else to finish it at this point. And I mean, I feel like if you're George R. R. Martin, I mean, why not, right? Like, you clearly don't want to finish it. You don't like the backlash that the shit got. Oh, shit. I don't know. Like, I heard he wrote himself into a corner. That's why he hasn't finished it. Yeah, I actually heard something similar that he felt like he had created so many fucking plot lines that he was like, oh shit, like I don't know how to resolve this now. And now he just feels stuck. But I mean, at the same time, like, you're what, 80s, 80, 78? He's up there and fat and just not going to finish the shit. Assholes took his work and made a stupid show out of it instead of waiting for him to finish it. I mean, I think that's kind of fair to blame them for fucking up the ending. But at the same time, I think his last book came out in what the fuck was that guy doing? His last book came out when? Like 2008 or 2010? Like, damn, 40 to 39, that's a close game. I mean, at some point, it's like you knew the show was coming out. All he had to do was finish the book 6 in a decade. So, yeah, I mean, to me, it's like, and what are they going to do? Just stop the show until he finishes, which is never. Like, while all the kids are aging and the actors are aging and have other shit to do. I don't know. I mean, they shouldn't have fucked the ending up. And I think that they probably just ignored him. And it sounds like they took way less of his input as the series went on, which is definitely their fault. But if you go 10 years between books, I mean, Fuck. Imagine Tolkien's still alive and watching the Rings of Power, or whatever. Pretty sure he'd rage quit too. Also, Martin is focused on writing prequels like House of the Dragon. Well, I think that's part of what I find more offensive is that he's still writing. It's not like he's, laid up in fucking bed. He's written a bunch of other shit in the meantime. And, the show took a decade to come out. Let me look and see when, was it a Dance with Dragons? A Dance with Dragons, 2011. So, I think season 6 was when. Let's see. So 2016 is when season 6 came out. So I mean, he's got 6 years to write that book, or even if it's not fully published, for it to be close enough that they can use it to do the story. And he didn't. And then I think he got a little bit of writer's block. I think he was a little bit lazy. And then I think that after the bad reception of the show, he just got to the point where he was like, well, now I'm never going to finish it. All right, it looks like Shamrock's on now, so she should be on in just a minute here, hopefully. But in his defense, I would say that, if they really started taking less of his input and kind of being arrogant and just doing their own thing, then that's not his fault. But not finishing the books, I mean, there's no one to put that on except for him. I mean, he's signing $100 million contracts and making prequel shows. And then every year on his blog posting, oh, yeah, the book is almost ready, guys. So to me, I don't know. Like at some point, just tie your ass to your desk, up in your cabin in the mountains or wherever you're comfortable writing, and get to it. I mean, I know that him being detail oriented is a big part of obviously why Game of Thrones is so good. But at the same time, it's like, come on, man. Like, you got to finish fucking putting the work in. Martin has an impossible task. He has to release a book better than the show. The longer he waits, the more anticipation and hype for the ending. I mean, I sort of agree, but at the same time, like, there's no way he doesn't have some kind of outline, right? And with the way that the show fell apart and how long it's taken, I think people will just be glad to get an ending and some kind of closure. So I'm talking to Shamrock now to see if we can get our communication going. Good stories. Good stories take time, man. The lightning in a bottle. Yeah, but he's 75, and it's been 13 years since the last book came out. I think he's 75. Let me check. He's in his 70s, and he's fat. Oh, yeah, he is 75. I was right. I'm fine with giving him time, but at the same time, I mean, he clearly has no intent of finishing the story. So it's at the point where either he has to just rush it and not be satisfied with the ending, or he has to just accept that he's not going to be the one to finish it and sign it over to someone else to finish it, which is shitty. I mean, I can't imagine that anybody, even if they pick the best writer. When they gave Sorry, I'm talking to Shamrock. I'm a little bit confused about how she's wanting to talk with this Discord shit. Fuck. The Harry Potter books were written back to back. Yeah, I mean, I think those came out within like a 10-year window.
Right, hello?
Hey.
Hi.
Okay, there we go. Hey, Mr. Divine and Jakin, can you hear Shamrock when she talks? It looks like you guys can in OBS. How are you doing? I was just talking to Chad about Game of Thrones.
Ah, nice. I'm doing fine. How are you?
Okay, they're defending George R. R. Martin. Well,
Oh.
you know,
But in what way?
saying that he's got a tough challenge to finish the books and he needs time and stuff. I'm more in the camp of he's just set to die and then pass him off.
Yeah, it really seems like he's been more focused on writing more like of histories of Westeros and other places rather than focusing on finishing the books. Like he kept saying that he's going to finish, but it was like what a few years ago that, and he just keeps saying it, and then there's just been nothing.
Well, yeah, that's what we were
on.
talking about. I was looking it up,
Yeah.
actually. It's been 13 years since A Dance with Dragons came out.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Oh, Jakin said, he's talking about Harry Potter. He says, yeah, but those are full of convenience and I can't stand them. They made these goddamned ACOTAR trash that women read and listen to. What the fuck is ACOTAR? It's an abbreviation for something, right? What game did you want to play, or game mode, I guess?
We can do SWAT if you want to do it, or whatever you want to do.
Okay. Here, I can I hand the party over to you? Let's see.
Yes, you can.
There we go. Make leader. Then you can just pick. Yeah, I've been sucking ass before you came on here, so.
All right, so you want to do SWAT or try it?
I was trying to make you party leader. Did it work?
Yes, it did.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'm probably gonna go negative no matter what we play. So.
All right, and do you mind just doing reach maps, or do you want to do them all?
Oh, I really don't care. It's not gonna matter.
Okay.
I think last game was my first positive one, and that was on Combat Evolved with Fiesta. There was flamethrowers and shit. So.
Nice.
How'd your other
I just
stream
watched
go?
the. I was. The funny thing about that is that we were going to watch the finale episode of Doctor Who, and then wait a couple days to do a live stream to talk about, what we thought about the episode. But when the episode ended, Sir Baller, who was running the stream, he was like, that wasn't really much of anything, and we probably won't have a lot to talk about. So do you guys want to do the stream now? And we said sure. And before you knew it, he was at the 9.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel with the Acolyte. Like when I was going to talk about it, I was like, "Oh, this video is going to be like 5 minutes because nothing happened." And then I ended up just rambling for like 15 minutes because I was like, "This show is just a piece of shit." I've heard like the Doctor Who is just falling off a cliff.
So, oh man, I had watched when they brought David Tennant back, because people liked David Tennant as Doctor Who. And I liked to do it. I thought it was really good. So I watched the 3-episode special that he was in, and then it ended with him, introducing the new Doctor. So then I watched the Christmas special that this new Doctor did, and then the first 2 episodes of his season 1, and I was like, I'm done. I don't want to watch anymore. So then I was just watching Disparu's reviews on YouTube, and then I was Sir Baller and a couple of other friends were telling me like what I missed, and then I joined the live stream because we went over all these new episodes of Doctor Who, just talk about what happened, what's going on, what we think of this season so far. So then they were filling me in on the episodes I missed and showing me clips of certain episodes, and I would not have been able to sit through those episodes.
Yeah,
just because I'm a recent Doctor Who fan. Like I didn't watch it for the longest time. Like I knew of it, but it wasn't something that I really got into. And then last year, my friend Sir Baller, he showed me all the good Doctor Who episodes. So we jumped around Eccleston to David Tennant, Matt Smith, and Peter. Like we jumped around. Like, these are good episodes. And then once we had all the good episodes watched, he's like, "Now I'm going to show you some Jodie Whittaker episodes with the female Doctor, to show you like where it started, where it went down the hill. Like there's definitely bad episodes with the other Doctor Who's, but like he showed me those. Like these were bad episodes before Jodie Whittaker became the Doctor." And then we watched her, and there's this 5-episode parter that just, it's called the Flux, and it just, I think my mind broke watching it. Like I was trying to like ask questions, trying to make sense of what I was seeing during these episodes. But at least I was engaged with it. With this new Doctor Who, I just felt less and less engaged the more I watched. And when this finale episode, it was like it was rushing through what should have been a build up to the climax of the episode. It was rushing through that. Bad guys defeated. Now we need to figure out who the companion, Ruby, like who her mom is, because it's like this big mystery that they've been trying to solve. And it turns out that Ruby is the new Rey, because her mom was nobody. But because everyone cared about who Ruby's mom was, it made her important.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I've just heard nothing but bad things. So chat Shamrock has a channel similar to mine, and she talks about pretty much writing and kind of the same shit that I do. I think right now you're doing what, Avatar videos
Yes, I
for the
currently
live
my
action?
second
Yeah.
episode is down because they got a copyright claim on it. So I'm disputing that again.
Yeah,
And
copyright's a nightmare with Netflix.
yeah, it's claiming a part where I'm talking and my logo's on the screen. So
Yeah.
and the video is sped up.
Yeah, I noticed
But
that when I
yeah,
listened
so
to it.
definitely when I get to episode 3, I'm gonna have to change stuff around again to when I finally get to that.
Oh my god, I'm getting
But
fucking
I thought I
destroyed.
did have an idea because I watched the first episode of House of the Dragon, and I had an idea of doing an episode on like the villain tropes. One of them being killing the bad guy killing his own men.
Oh yeah. God, I
Yeah.
hate that so much.
And then something that happens in this first episode is one of the bad guys kicks a dog. But how it's done is like the dog belongs to one of the other bad guys.
I'm getting fucking
then, like,
destroyed, just so you know.
Yeah, because I'm not paying attention. But like how it was done was just like we want the audience to hate these guys, so we're going to have one kick the dog. I was like, but people who have read the book, they already don't like these guys. People who haven't read the book, let them come to know why they shouldn't like these guys, instead of being like, oh, he kicked the dog, we don't like him. It just felt like we need to have him kick the dog so that the audience knows these are not good guys.
Yeah, the killing your own men thing. I don't know why. Oh my god, I must be like minus 15 right now. I just don't understand it. Like, I feel like with most of the time that happens, don't even know where I'm getting fucking shot from. You have a villain who is in charge of like a shitload of people.
Yeah.
And, they have the authority to punish their men however they see fit.
Mm-hmm.
So holding like a public execution just doesn't really seem effective to me in a lot of situations. And that's kind of like what it is most of the time. It's just like a fucking tantrum. Like, I actually was thinking about that with Halo. Oh, Jake and Hagar says it's called A Court of Thorns and Roses. Okay.
Right.
So is that one of the prequels that you were talking about, Jaken?
Yeah, it's like one of the history books.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, my knowledge on Game of Thrones is not that deep. I kind of gave up after this show, so.
Yeah, I actually haven't read any of the books. I've just watched like videos and people doing videos on the histories. So that's my knowledge.
Oh, okay. Sorry. What I was going to say was with Halo, like, Halo is a perfect example. Mr. Divine says, I don't like the villain killing their own men trope, especially when the villain beats up the hero but doesn't kill him. Yeah, exactly. When they just monologue and then let them escape and then kill their own men. But Halo, to me, the game versus the show is like a perfect example of how this is butchered.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to see my fucking numbers for that game. I think I was like 1 in like fucking 15 or something. So in the Halo games, obviously, the Arbiter is made the Arbiter because he fucked up. So his punishment is essentially to take on impossible challenges until he dies to repent. It's like, okay, that's like a good use of a resource. It's a fitting punishment. You're not just wasting people. And in the show, we see the Arbiter dueling with Jimmy Rings. His guy comes up and just plasma pistols him to the chest, which, you're in like a fucking war zone, so that makes sense. And then the Arbiter cuts his head off. And then they let him live. So it's like, what the fuck are you doing? How do we get here? And it just is such a jump from, like, we're going to make you kind of a sacrificial lamb to do impossible things to, I'm going to kill my own guy because he tried to kill someone in war. I just don't understand how it became a trend.
Yeah. Something that I was thinking of about like, killing your own men was Dune Part 2. The I can't
Fade
remember
Ralpha.
the actor's name, but well, both the nephews, the guy from
Oh, Juan
Guardian.
Bautista.
Yeah, I can't remember him killing his own men in Part 1, but in Part 2, I think he kills at least 2 guys, and both times it felt so unnecessary, especially like when I think he gives an order, and one of the guys like argues against him, or not, but tries to point out the flaw in what he says, and it's like the Harkonnens. Anyone who works for the Harkonnens, they should know how the Harkonnens are. But
Yeah.
they shouldn't be trying to like go against the orders or trying to point out why
flaws.
this would be the flaws, and like if you can think you could do it better than how you've been ordered, then you can say yes sir, I'll do it, and then try to do it better without getting killed. But just felt like we need to remind the audience that this character is evil. So we're gonna have him kill his own guy.
I think I know the scene that you're talking about is when he smashes the guy's head on the computer, right?
Yeah. And then doesn't he kill one of the pilots as well?
Maybe.
When he's looking for the Fremen in the attack.
I need to watch it again, but his character was just like a giant wailing baby. Like it just made him seem like a petulant child. I did not like what they did with him. Like you can have him be a
better
buffoon
in Part 1.
Yeah. Like you can have him be a buffoon without being like just throwing tantrums like a baby when he's a fucking grown man, like leading military operations.
Yeah.
And then especially when you put that next to Austin Butler, it makes him look even worse. I mean, because he did such a good job in that movie. I'm going to go see Bike Riders tomorrow.
Nice. But then there was also like when he kills one of his own men, that also felt because he says something, like he gives an order or something, and the guy tries to point out why that would be a bad idea. Like I had to watch it again, but again it also felt like, okay, we've seen this guy, when he got his new knives, he was testing how sharp they were.
Yeah.
Like killing his own guys, or those women. And then so we know that, and then he's just like again talking to one of the subordinates, and he knifes him, I think, because he says something that he doesn't like. It just made the people working for the Harkonnens very unself-aware.
Yeah. Mr. Devine says, I think he was losing control in Dune 2, and that's why he was so angry. Yeah, I'm fine.
But also, I'm fine with him getting angry and losing control, because I definitely got that from the Baron when he rages, and so he kills those girls.
Yeah. He's talking about Juan Bautista, I think, when he sent that. But and I think it's okay for him to be angry and like kind of panicking, but I still think there's a way to do it that's not kind of, essentially childish.
That's not making the people, not making him feel like childish, and not making the people around him idiots.
Yeah,
that they would try to correct. Okay, he's mad. Tread carefully, instead of trying to point out, no, that wouldn't be a good thing to do, or no, we should do this instead.
Yeah, even if a guy just says, "Hey, like, sir, can I talk to you privately?" Then there's a little bit of decorum there, and he understands context. Fuck. You're carrying the team right now. I'm dragging us down though, so.
It's okay.
Fuck. He didn't tolerate failure and took corrective action on his own. And then Mr. Devine says, to be fair, Austin Butler's character was killing people to feed to his cannibals, which is true and also gross.
Yes.
I was more okay with Austin Butler's character because I felt like he was just crazy. I think Juan Bautista's character, I've just found more like cringe. And I feel like, and this is a bit of a meta thing that's maybe not fair to the movie, But I feel like Juan Bautista just ends up yelling a lot in like whatever he's in.
Mhm.
Like I don't know. And I was like, oh, it would be cool to see him in Dune where he gets to do something else, and then he just yelled again, except he was white. Like, I don't know. I mean, Dune. I think Dune 2 was overall a decent adaptation, especially for the book. I mean, it's been a while since I've read it. I was actually talking to Chad about that before you hopped on. But that book is super hard to read as far as fiction goes. Like,
Yeah, I still haven't read it. I've been looking for it on audiobook, thinking that might be easier.
yeah, that's actually what I have. I have the audiobook. I listened to it a couple times, but a couple times over 10 years, not recently. But it's definitely not like Ender's Game or Harry Potter where you can just give it to someone and it's super easy just to get through. Because even the movie, like part 1, it starts off and they just start talking about the Kwisatz Haderach and they just go right into it. Like the Bene Gesserit, there's no preamble. You're not getting a ton of exposition. So I think as far as adaptations go, they did what they could for sure. But there was just some choices that I was like meh on. I'm curious to see what you think when you get around to it.
Yeah, I've been because there's this one guy I know who's read the books and he does not like the movies at all. It's like some things from the movies, but he doesn't like a lot of stuff that they cut.
Yeah, and that's
and he did not like part 2.
Well, that's what I was talking to Chad about. Was I thought that they made Chani a lot more questioning in part 2 than I remember in the books, yeah. But Chad was saying that she's still worried about him just becoming power hungry. So, I mean, maybe that is the case. They definitely, I feel like they did hit the main themes, but it's also kind of hard to criticize them for cutting stuff when, I mean, you've got 2 parts that are 5.5 hours. There's only so much they can do. Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I guess
we'll find out if they ever make the Doom Messiah.
Yeah, well, I think that's already in production, and I think Denis said that that's going to be his last one to finish up the trilogy. So, I mean, hopefully it's good. I definitely enjoyed part 1 and part 2. But I think they were also getting a little bit of, I don't want to say undeserved hype, but maybe unfair hype. Like comparing the battles to Lord of the Rings, and people were really going overboard with the praise. I mean, to me, the biggest point of praise for the movies probably would have been the visuals. I thought that
visuals are pretty good.
I thought that just the way they used CGI and like the worms and everything was really impressive.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like you felt like they were really there.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you're especially when you're comparing.
Now I do wonder how the Fremen get off the sandworms when they're riding them. Like they just jump off to the side.
Yeah, that's one of those things too where you just kind of have to overlook it because that like when they did that first scene, I think it's like 7 minutes, I want to say, where he catches the big worm to ride, and it's like this big epic thing, and then the rest of the time the worms are like taxis.
Yeah.
Like they're like desert taxis where they're like, okay, time to go. And then they just show them like riding along. And, Jessica's pregnant and she's chilling and it's like, okay, then. But yeah, that's one of those things that I think they tried to like quickly imply about pulling open their gills and then just fuck off and move on. Let's see. Do you think Dune should have been a trilogy and they cut the dinner part? They cut the dinner in part 1, but covered the information well. Yeah, and that's, to me, what kind of fucking spawn was that? I took one step and got fucking hit in the back.
Yeah, that happens.
Well, it's worse with like Halo 1, but Reach I thought would be better than that. The book never mentions how they get off the worms, so I believe it was the director's choice not to show it either. That was from chat.
Thank-
Yeah, I'm like cutting down certain scenes. I think that's just, a practicality of movies.
Mhm.
But it's always just a bummer, and you kind of wonder, like, would Dune have been better served as like a 10 episode HBO series? Where they have the time to really get into the world building and like the spice mining guilds and stuff and all the AI shit. Because there's a ton of world building in Dune. And part of the problem with adapting it too is Frank Herbert's writing style is just a lot of internal monologues, which, is not obviously viewer friendly. Damn it. Do I think Dune should have been a trilogy? I mean, it's kind of hard to say because I thought that the point they ended part 1 was probably the right spot to end it. That was from chat. Somebody was asking, but at the same time, what is your goal? Like, is your goal to capture the spirit and you just do the best you can, or is your goal an absolutely perfect adaptation? If the goal is an absolutely perfect adaptation, then you needed way more time. Like that. I mean, that's just books to fucking movies. But I think as far as just capturing the spirit and being reasonable, I mean, right? They spent, I think, $180 million on each movie. I don't think what they did was a bad choice. I think it's just book people tend to be a little bit hardcore with, I want the adaptation to be exactly line for line from the book. I don't think that's necessarily reasonable. Yeah. Or a good thing. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in books that you like that, like on a screen.
Like reading the book, like Fellowship of the Ring, you might find Tom Bombadil funny and kind of cool. But if he just appeared in the movie, like, how would you feel about him?
Yeah. And then there's also stuff that I think when it's described, it can sound cool. But then if you see it, it looks goofy. I mean, even if you think about like animated stuff, animated stuff to live action, right? Like one of the things in Star Wars Rebels that made it to Ahsoka was when Ezra goes to jump across this chasm, he does like a force jump and then Sabine force pushes. So it's like a double jump. And in animation, I think it works pretty well. Like I like Rebels a lot more than most people. But in the live action show, that's one of those moments where you're watching and you're like, what the fuck is this? Like it just looks stupid and cartoony.
Yeah, Star Wars Theory pointed out in, I guess after watching episode 4 of The Acolyte, someone brought up that Count Dooku did something in the cartoon Clone Wars before the actual TV show that other Clone Wars.
Oh, the Tarkovsky one or whatever.
Yeah, they point out, well, Count Dooku did that back in that version, and Star Wars Theory said, yeah, that's a cartoon. Also, it was not from not he didn't do it in the actual movies.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot more leeway based on the medium that you're in, for sure. Mm-hmm. So for Dune, I think they did the best that they could with 2 movies. I mean, you can debate about certain decisions and split hairs, but given
I guess like not knowing you're going to get a third movie, like you'll be able to do a third movie.
Yeah,
you've been greenlit for 2.
Yeah,
you do the best you can with your budget and 2 movies.
Well, yeah, and then there's stuff like budget limits. There's time constraints. There's probably a million safety aspects you have to worry about on set.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and then there's also just entertainment value. Like, do you want a big conversation between whoever, I can't remember who it was now in the books, like the Emperor and whoever about the Spice Mining Guild? I mean, in the 1984 one, they did do that. I actually just started watching it recently. I'm only like 30 minutes in, but one of the first scenes in the movie is an alien worm showing up in a glass cage talking to the Emperor. And even if you think it's cool or sci-fi or whatever, for a normal audience, when they're trying to make money, that might be something they're like, okay, it's just too much. So I don't know. The first Dune movie put in a lot of inner dialogue, and everyone thought it was weird. You had to change some things based on the media. Yeah, exactly. Like, some things just don't translate. And it's unfortunate because I do think there's an aspect of this of just people view movies as like the highest value entertainment or medium or whatever you want to say. Like, books are looked down on for being for nerds. or there's people who simply just won't commit, 12, 13, 14 hours to read the Dune book when they can sit down and watch the 2-hour movie. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think they did anything wrong. I just think it's just kind of the practicality of the situation. I mean, I think it would be cool if they did if HBO was like, look, we're going to put $200 million into a 10-episode series and, give them 10 hours and just go all the way in. But that's funny. In chat just said, dude, the budgets they have these days are insane. They still can't tell a good story.
Yeah.
And that's the problem too, is like, do you think Warner Brothers is going to greenlight 10 hours of content when it could turn out to be dog shit that no one watches? I mean, the studios still want to make money. And Dune Part 2, I think, made $700 million at the box office. So, profit of probably $150 million at least. I mean, if you guys are interested in the 1984 version, it's on YouTube. If you type in Dune 1984 Spice Diver cut, there's like the full extended edition, like 3-hour cut. It's fan edited. So I don't know if they just added the deleted scenes in or if they kind of cleared up some of the visuals because it's so old. I mean, it's the original movie. It's just slightly higher quality. So, but you can check it out. There's a fucking hilarious scene where Patrick Stewart is Josh Brolin's character. Is it Gurney? Or is Gurney Jason Momoa?
No.
That's Duncan. Okay, so yeah,
Duncan.
Yeah. So he's Gurney, and he's the one who does the training with Paul. But when they light their shields up, they're both these moving red, like they look like Roblox, like they're just polygons. Chat says no, they don't. We still have the acolyte. Yeah, that's one that is mind blowing to me because my expectations were like it'll probably just be generic schlop and kind of suck ass, and it is just so bad it's unbelievable. And I didn't realize it until I was responding to your comment today that there's been one action scene in 4 episodes. And it was the first 5 minutes with Trinity. That's the one action scene. Everything else has been off screened. Okay, that's a little bit unfair. In episode 2, there was an action scene with Squid Game and May.
Oh yeah, when they're
but
fighting.
Yeah, horrendous. Episode 3, there's none. Episode 4, it ends on a forced push that just blows everyone away.
I like how he just Smiler and just flicks his hand.
Yeah.
Sends Osha flying one way. All those Jedi coming at him, and force pushes them all away.
Yeah, that's
like none of them could block his force push.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to explain to people who comment my shit like, oh, maybe it'll get better. that like they've already written themselves into they're fucked. Like, you can't have the bad guy show up and just force push everyone effortlessly, and then make sense of how they're gonna beat him.
It seems like the best episode of these TV shows is the first one. Like Avatar, the best episode was the first one, and they just kind of went downhill after that. Like as far as like writing and the characters' dialogue.
I think they're
just zipping around.
Peter
Jackson.
I agree with you that it feels that way, but I bet if you went back and rewatched it, like knowing the full context of the series, your opinion would change. Because I think that's what the first episode benefits from, is like, oh, like there's still hope. Like there's still hope that maybe it'll get better. You know, they haven't contradicted themselves too much because there's not that much out there yet. And then as the show goes on, that's when you start to see like, oh, they're just fucking themselves. Like every line of dialogue makes the show worse.
Yeah, well, rewatching episode 2 of Avatar. Yeah, I got to the part where Sokka's bathing and Suki's staring at him, and I had to stop. I stopped, and I didn't get back to it for 5 days because I just felt so uncomfortable, and Sokka's uncomfortable and trying to cover himself, and she's staring at him.
Yeah, like
and
I'll be
knowing,
honest,
like having seen all the show, knowing that Suki never apologizes, and that scene like means nothing because they just move on. It's never brought up.
I'll be honest, I actually forgot about that scene until you just said it. I might have dozed off because that show was fucking boring.
Yeah.
My chat's bitching now. They're saying that they like to see the expenses for these films. Like who's to say they bought a cup of coffee that wasn't $1,000?
Well, they sit on Drinkers Open Bar, that because they're talking about the Acolyte, that the people who are making a film, they take some of the budget that goes to them.
Oh yeah,
that's their their pay, and so Disney kind of like paid itself to make the Acolyte.
For sure. And then there's like even like what they used to do. Let's see. Oh, Jakin says after the original 3 Star Wars, I can't stand it. Hey, you be nice about the prequels, all right? The prequels are up and down, but they've got some good shit in there. He also says he feels like they're just laundering money. I don't get how it's all being made. That actually is what I think too. Like, I just don't get it at this point. Because the money is not on screen. And then you see Dune 2 or Godzilla Minus One. That guy just fucked me. You see Dune... Oh, and I got spawn killed.
I got him.
Fucking piece of shit. You behind you.
Is it?
You see Godzilla Minus One or Dune or whatever, and you're like... Or Oppenheimer. And you're like, oh, like this is what this much money should look like.
Mm-hmm. Like they can totally do better. They just aren't.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Because the money is going to fucking God knows where. And then a huge part of it that I heard was Denis Villeneuve said that Villeneuve, oh yeah, fucking French people.
Hey.
Said that just a big part of how they saved money was that he had storyboarded everything, so they weren't doing like a million reshoots. Which, shocker, planning saves you money. I mean, it's like none of these motherfuckers have ever met a carpenter to say measure twice, cut once.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, like it just does reek of just massive inefficiency.
Above you.
Above me? Oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
You're right behind me, okay. it just reeks of just massive inefficiency and probably just wasted fucking money. I mean,
Yeah, we talked about this when we were talking about Doctor Who, and they were filming on the episodes I missed. I said a lot of this, like, you take away the cringe, take away the stupidity and stuff. Like, there's like an idea, there's a story. There's the basics of a story there. There's like some neat concepts, but it reads as a first draft.
yeah.
But they wrote the script. Like, okay, we're done. We don't need to expand on anything. We're getting our message through, and that's what's more important than trying to make the story cohesive. Like, we just, oh, sweet.
That was lucky for me. I got a long ass kill. Why? I mean, you're a fan of all the same people I am. I'm sure you've heard Muller and them talk about how Doctor Strange 2 was literally being written like as they were filming.
As they were filming.
I mean, like, what fucking world is that a good idea? Because if you're a studio, you have to think of this as an investment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am investing. Wow, 19 and 9, you're fucking killing it.
Thank you.
Like, you have to think of it as, you know, I'm investing $150 million, $200 million into this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I expect the people that are spending this money to spend it wisely or efficiently, or, you know, to get the most out of it. Not to pay fucking intimacy coordinators $200,000 to sit there and fucking jack off or whatever they do. Not to, you know, CGI in every room in the movie instead of just building a small set, you know, for $50,000 or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, is it true that they needed an intimacy coordinator for the scene where Yord is shirtless? Where he's
That's what I heard, and I mean, based on how crazy they are, I would assume it has to be true, because I mean, I don't know how old that actress is, that girl. I assume she's like a teenager, right? Like probably 15,
she looks like
15?
a teenager.
Yeah. And that dude is mid-20s, I'm guessing. So I can't imagine they would have him shirtless in front of her without a million protocols. I mean, it's like the government where, you know.
But then she's the one who tells him off too.
Yeah.
Like, put some clothes on.
That's like her only job in the show. It's like be annoying Padawan who's just as snarky. Hey, what's up, Jay? Jay says, "Hello, fellow kids." He's mad that in my last stream I said he was like twice my age. And Jakin says, "Costumes and set are so clean looking, nothing feels real anymore. I miss movies like The Predator." Yeah, and that's the thing too, is I heard that The Predator was like a nightmare production wise, but you got a great movie out of it. So, you know.
And then they changed too, because originally, like, the original Predator was supposed to be Claude Van Damme.
Oh yeah.
And then they changed who was going to be in the suit.
Is it because did he have a conflict, or was it because he couldn't show his face?
I don't know. I keep forgetting like what the reason is. Because I've heard like several people tell me that was really supposed to be him, and I've seen pictures of him in a suit.
Oh, maybe it was just the conditions then, or a conflict.
The original Predator look also changed. Like what he was going to look like underneath the helmet.
Yeah, I actually just rewatched The Predator a few months ago, and I feel like
weird.
I wonder if that movie was an inspiration for Gears of War. Because it really feels like it might have been, because at least like on just a base level. Damn, someone just got fucking blasted like 1 second. Oh, never mind, I did too. Because you know,
have you seen the ending credits of Predator, where it's showing like each character, their name? Have you seen the edit where they took the theme from Golden Girls and they have it playing during that clip?
No.
Oh, it's funny.
I saw there was one. It was they edited part of it into a song, but I can't remember what part it was now.
Yeah.
But
So Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't want to do that because they're each person looks at the camera and smiles or does something like goofy or something, and he didn't want to do that. So they just used a clip from the actual movie.
let's see. Oh, Jakin says that it went from an insect thing to what it looks like now for the Predator, and the suit was bad, and Jesus Christ, Jean-Claude Van Damme was difficult, and he hated the conditions, is what him and Jay are saying.
Yeah, I can see that about him.
Yeah, I mean, he was already famous at that point too, right? So that'd make a little bit more sense if he was kind of uppity. He didn't have enough screen time. Yeah, I think that was
show my face.
Yeah, I think that's what I thought I heard was about the screen time, because the Predator, you don't see him until, is it the last scene or is it maybe the first time he gets shot, right? That his camo like kind of clicks off. Fuck.
Yeah, but you don't see like him very much because it's just like he's healing himself, but you still don't see like all of him as he's sitting there healing himself.
Oh yeah.
I think yeah.
Shit. These dudes are spread out like all over the fucking map. They're being annoying. Yeah, so I was saying about Gears of War though is, to me the Predator is like just the epitome. Oh shit. Fuck. Damn it. I missed like 5 shots on that guy.
I got him.
The Predator, I think, has a really good base formula of just like 4 just like manly ass dudes who have to kill a monster. And then Gears of War kind of took that and just ramped it up. I don't know if you ever played Gears or not, but
I have not.
Yeah, it's just like testosterone in the game. Like, there's a dude floating at the door. He's being a fucking prick. So the whole premise is that on E-Day, it's a Earth equivalent called Sarah is the planet.
Okay.
And there had been 100 years war called the Pendulum Wars. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but that was a civil war between humans, and there's kind of parallels between the U.S. and Soviet Union there. And then they had peace for a year or two, but they were both obviously depleted resource-wise because, they had 100 years war. And on E-Day, which is Emergence Day, the locusts popped out of the ground and just started killing everyone. And I think like a quarter of the population died in the first day. So then they got desperate, and the humans essentially kept reducing their own territory until they were living on like islands and like granite because the locusts couldn't tunnel through it. So then the soldiers there, Jesus Christ, I'm getting spawn killed over and over. So then the soldiers there are like these hyper masculine, just like, I think like the main guy, Phoenix, I think he's supposed to be like 6'2" and 265. And they're all just built like, juiced out, manly men. Your guns have chainsaws, so you can like cut them up and you get all the blood and gore every time you do it. It's fun. It's a super straightforward, like, just big muscular men killing fucking monsters. I actually reinstalled it because I was debating on playing the third one on my stream Sunday, since people were shitting on Mass Effect. Of course, after this stream, they might be shitting on Halo too. But I'm fucking playing. Let's see. Jakin says Annihilation did it too, although they showed it immediately, and we learned more about it with the characters. Scary stuff. Yeah, Annihilation. I need to watch that movie again because I thought it was okay, but I kind of suspect that's a movie that if I watch it again, I'm gonna be like, eh. Like, Natalie Portman's hot, but beyond that. Kind of like that one with Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner. Like, I liked that movie the first time that I watched it.
What Arrival?
Yes.
Or okay.
But then when I watched it again, I was like, wow, like she's a piece of shit. And I'm not sure how much sense this movie makes. And I never watched it again. Are you watching The Acolyte or anything? Or you just...
I'm just watching reviews on it. Sir Baller has talked about like, oh, we should watch The Acolyte, and I said not unless we're drunk.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because it's so dull. Chat says ain't nothing wrong with Mass Effect. It's about the journey, not the destination.
Because like, I got kind of invested in the first season of Mandalorian because I could see the potential, like where it could go. Like, yes, there were problems, there were writing problems, and
World
I didn't like
building,
some of the
yeah.
stuff they were doing with the Mandalorian code and stuff.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, first season might be a little rough, but it can get better.
Fuck.
And it didn't get better.
Oh, he was talking about Arrival. Okay, I thought you were talking about Mass Effect. So the journey was great. Yeah, that's fine. I don't know. Like, if you watch a story knowing that the main character is a fucking asshole, can you enjoy it again? I don't know. I mean, not that asshole characters can't be great, obviously, but
yeah. Like, is the character like Amy Adams? Is she supposed to be someone who you feel like you root for to survive, or because I haven't seen the movie.
Well,
but
that's kind of the thing is I think you're supposed to like root for her and feel bad for her, but then at the end you realize that she's a dick. So that's good for like the first watch, but then when you watch it again, you're like, well, she's a dick. And I could be misremembering. It's been a while. I'm pretty sure. Oh, fuck, I'm getting spawn killed. I'm pretty sure the gist of it is she knows that her kid is going to die if she has it, and then has the kid anyway. So then her and Jamie Renner have to live through that. And then when he realizes that, he's pissed off and leaves her. Like, obviously. Because, why wouldn't you leave a woman who made you go through a fucking death of your own child? Let's see what chat's... Oh, Jake, can you want to play Gears 3 with me? We can play together. I would play on Insanity, and I'm not very good, so as long as you have time.
Yes, I might need to give that movie a watch then, because I want to do a video on maybe the 5 worst female characters. And the female characters that they're not supposed to be bad, not supposed to be evil, but they end up being jerks, or you're just totally unsympathetic with them because of the choices and stuff they say.
Let's see. Jakin says that sci-fi without magic is great. And then they say that Acolyte doesn't deserve any attention and life is too short to watch that shit. So, both fair points. And Jay says, Goodfellas, everyone's terrible, very, very rewatchable. See, but the thing with Goodfellas is the movie says they're all fucking terrible. So I'm completely okay with that. Like, could you imagine if Game of Thrones tried to have, Joffrey be portrayed as good? Portrayed as a good character? Should she have aborted it? Damn, Jakin. Asking the hard questions, huh? I see, I don't remember the details. That's why I said I don't want to commit too much. I thought that she knew I thought she deliberately got pregnant and had the kid, knowing what was going to happen.
So she knew this. You're saying she knew this before she was even pregnant, that if she had a baby, the baby would die.
Well, the baby would grow up to be a certain age and then die because the aliens had a time travel capability that I think transferred to her. Okay, so Mr. Divine says, to be fair, Amy Adams' character knew how it was going to end, but at least got to experience it. Like his cat will die in 20 years, and I'm bummed, but he's still glad to have her. And I think that's actually an interesting philosophical point. Oh, Mass Effect. Sorry. he wants to play Mass Effect 3 with me. I thought there was no multiplayer on Mass Effect 3 on the Legendary Edition now. But as far as
in that case, like, because there are cases like where a couple is told like they're pregnant and they've done testings and stuff. It's like it's highly probable that your child is born and they're not going to live long because of this or that problem.
Okay, so I actually
for that.
No, I actually think that's an interesting conversation and an interesting like philosophical debate. I think the bigger issue, from what I remember, so hopefully they'll correct me if I'm wrong, is that one, she never told Jeremy Renner.
Yeah,
so
that is an issue.
He didn't have a fucking say, as far as I remember. But the other part is, it's one thing to be like, you're high risk for insert disease, whatever. Make up something. I don't fucking know. Butt fucker syndrome. And, you say, okay, well, I'm willing to take that risk. Like, hopefully...
Yeah, you know the possible outcome. Because stuff has been wrong also.
Yes. And, hopefully my kid will be able to have a, full normal life. In this context, from what I remember, it's like, there's no percentages. It's just the future. So she's like 100% certain that her kid is going to die. I want to say, is he like 6 years old? I'd have to look. Let me look real quick while we're waiting for this next game. But she 100% knows that he's going to be sick and die.
And she doesn't tell Jeremy Renner.
And she never tells him. And then he finds out later from that
she knew the whole time.
Yes. Okay, so...
In that context,
dies at 12 from an incurable illness. They don't specify what it is. It looks like. So 12. And the thing about the cat and dogs is, like, I agree it sucks. I mean, my dogs are getting older. Like, one of them is 10 and one's 8, and she's already had cancer, and we had to amputate her leg, and we got lucky, and she's still alive like 2 years later. But they're still living a full life as dogs. And the life that they're living is better than they would live otherwise. I mean, a dog, a stray dog, obviously, there's the whole shelter thing depending on the state you live in. Obviously, wild dogs have a pretty rough lifestyle. So I get the pet comparison, but the burden on that one is more on you. I think, where the kid thing, there's the mixture of the burden being on the kid and your spouse and you. And you just kind of making an executive decision. So, I still think she's an asshole. And I think what Chad is saying is an interesting, like, philosophical thing. But the movie doesn't really approach that.
It doesn't go into it.
Yeah. It just kind of frames her as the protagonist. And then the twist is, well, she is the protagonist, but she's a dick. I mean, at least that's how I see it. Chat seems to disagree with me a little bit here.
So I might have to watch it because I want to do a video on like the top 5 worst female characters.
Well, I think Wonder Woman has to be in there.
Well, Kwan Ha is going to be in there.
Oh God, yeah.
But I recently watched World War Z. I'd never seen it before.
Oh, they fucking butchered that book.
Well, the wife in there, because she knows her husband is going into a dangerous situation. This is when he is on the plane and he's going to that place to find something. But so she might not know all the details, but she knows he's going into a dangerous situation. He says, "I will call you every day, like once every day." Now she missed a call when he called. So she calls him. She calls him right when they are trying to get back to the plane. They're trying to be quiet. And he didn't silence his phone or take the battery out or anything.
As all good protagonists do.
She calls him and it wakes up the zombies, and the zombies come charging out, and they kill a bunch of people. So she got a bunch of people killed. When he finally calls her, she's like, well, I called you earlier. And he goes, yeah, that wasn't a good time. Now, instead of picking up on that, as like military wives would have, like my mom was a military wife and she would have picked up on, the language my dad used. Like, he couldn't tell her exactly what happened, but he would try to tell us, like, if something bad happened. He says it wasn't a good time. She smiles and says, are you okay?
I'll be honest, I was so pissed off when I saw that movie. I completely blocked it out. Because the book was so good. And it's funny, chat just said the same thing. That book was so good. And Jakin, you're still defending Amy Adams. I don't mind you disagreeing with me. But I'm kind of wondering if you've got like a redhead thing going on here. Don't be simping in chat.
Another person on my list, I lumped these two together because they're from the same TV show, and that's Monarch: Legacy of Monsters.
Oh,
I
God.
love the two main female characters together, Kate and May, because they're pretty much the same.
Was that how you found my channel? Because Monarch was one of the first shows that I covered.
Rebel Moon.
Okay.
How I found your channel.
Well, because Monarch was one of the first shows that I felt like I started getting pulled into the algorithm a little bit, and people were fucking bad.
It's a bad show.
Like, that show was miserable.
Yeah, by episode 5, I was done.
Oh, was that the one where they come out as lesbians and all that?
Well, that's where she comes out as a lesbian, because we get the flashback San Francisco stuff.
That episode was disgraceful.
We just got Godzilla and flashback stuff, and I was like, I'm done. Like, nothing's happening. The characters are awful. At least in like modern day characters are awful. Because I was more interested in people from the past, even though that stuff was kind of destroying the MonsterVerse lore from the movies. I was like, I still find them interesting, but we keep jumping to present day, and these people are awful. We've got the half brother, who might as well be a wallflower because he doesn't.
Oh, the one who's about to get cucked by his sister.
Oh yeah, like that was like so awkward. He's sitting there so awkwardly as they are holding hands, and when he saves their lives, when they are out in Alaska, and they're doubting that he saw something, and he turns out to be right. He calls the helicopter. He saves them all. His half sister says, "I never thought I'd thank someone for abandoning, his family."
Yeah.
And then she doesn't say thank you. May says thank you, but it's not to him. It's to Kate. I guess for making sure she didn't.
I know. Yeah.
And it's like, and he looks at them so awkwardly, like I can't believe what I'm seeing. I was like, yeah, we can't either.
Yeah, it was absurd. Like, the entire thing was just fucking ridiculous. Chat's giving me a hard time now.
Oh, no.
Oh, Jake can ask if all my negative feelings were from reading the book. No, I thought it wasn't a very good movie. And the fact that it was like the book only in name, it just drives me crazy. Because the book is slow zombies. And the way the book works, and I'll try to be fast so I don't just ramble. But the way the book works is a journalist is going around after World War Z, which is, obviously a World War III, whatever, they fought the zombies. And he's talking to people in different parts of the world, but the story is still chronological. So he's essentially getting stories from all over the world of different people's experiences. Super cool storytelling. Each story on its own is interesting. And the world building you get is great because you're covering literally the entire planet is a part of the story. And then obviously the virus progresses in different ways. When it starts out, they're all very fast and rabid. And then as time goes on, they decay and just kind of die off on their own. Mm. So it's a really good, there's a reason that it got a movie, right? And I just thought the movie was just very, I just thought the movie was very middling and they just changed everything except for the title. Sorry, go ahead.
I love the scene in the movie with is it Israel where they take in those refugees
Oh yeah.
and the refugees are celebrating. The refugees, the refugees get everyone killed.
Based.
Because the microphone, so it just causes the zombies to go into frenzy. Despite the helicopters flying around, they don't see the zombies going crazy, piling up on top of each other to get over the wall.
I could be misremembering, but Brad Pitt survives 2 plane crashes, right, in that movie? Or is it maybe it's one helicopter and one plane? He definitely survives a plane crash because he buckles up that other girl. Yeah, fuck that movie. Like that to me is just like the typical Hollywood. We want the name. We don't give a shit about the actual story. We're not going to make the money that we should because we changed everything, so it's dog shit. Damn, I got punched in the back. Oh, you got him.
I got him. Yep.
Oh yeah, Jay says Monarch gross. I think that's a gross face. It's like the angry face with the tape over it. Yeah, that's. Yo, oh, that was. Oh my god.
It should have been called. It should have been called the
fucking teenage drama.
The family. Yeah, teenage drama, or because they're not teenagers. Okay, Kate says her parents have been married for 30 years, so she should have been at least 29.
Well, she was a teacher also, so.
Yeah, so yeah, she should be at least 29, and I think Kentaro is younger than her by maybe a couple years. So they should be in their 20s.
Yeah, well, he graduated from college with an
Yeah,
art degree or whatever, so.
Yes, but they're acting like spoiled teenagers. But it should have been called the family drama of the Randa family or something.
Yeah,
because like it's Monarch and Legacy of Monsters in name only. Again, it's kind of like World War Z. Like it's in name only of what it should be, because it focuses more on this family drama.
And I love Triangle. Yeah.
Yeah. This guy having 2 families for some reason. He has to have a wife and daughter in San Francisco, and then a wife and son in Japan.
He was pimping.
And he felt, and he even says this, that he thought that they would never know about each other. He had no intention of ever telling.
Yeah, exactly. The two family man. Jakin says that the machine gunners didn't fire in World War Z, and that he only survived 1 plane crash. I could have sworn there was a helicopter crash in there too.
Well, I think they do jump on a helicopter and take it down because their helicopters flying outside the city. They're supposed to be, it's defenses. So they have no defenses on top of the wall, and just these helicopters flying around. And the helicopters don't see the zombies until it's too late that they're going over the wall.
Yeah, it's terrible when those zombies just sneak up on you at 1,000 feet.
Yeah. And there's very little defenses inside, in case the zombies ever got in.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And Jay says Monarch Legacy of Entitled Brats.
Yes.
Yeah, that show, like, I really do try to keep, like, culture war shit out of my videos as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as we were in fucking Tokyo, and the computer programmer expert, who apparently is the only one who's heard of VHS, was a mixed black chick in the middle of Tokyo, I was like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, come on, man.
I love how she complained for 3 or 4 episodes, how she did not want to be there.
I was gonna say the whole season.
Yeah, well, she had like before they leave Japan, she had a bag of money and fake passport. She could have left at any time before they got picked up by Monarch.
That's one of the first shows where I called out the girl saves herself trope with Kate. Because they made, I think his name was Tim, was the Monarch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Monarch's the baddies.
Monarch's
the baddies.
Yeah.
Like they kidnap Kate, and she And then they put a hood over her head for some reason, so she starts panicking, and she kicks the driver, which causes the car to crash. And she doesn't really get injured from that, so she walks away. And they both walk away without a lot of injuries. And then they show up at Gintaro's apartment, and they threaten him and his mom.
Yeah.
To try to get some files from the 1970s and the 1950s.
On VHS and cassette.
on cassette and reels and whatever else there. It's like, why exactly do you think these are important now?
Yeah, that
because
show.
Monarch doesn't seem to be doing
God.
what it should be doing anyway. Because like that Titan that they find, the mole Titan, as I call it, in Alaska. The last we hear of that is that a team was dispatched to contain it. Okay.
Chat's going
but
wild.
then when we see it, when we see it, Shaw closes the rift, and that takes Titan with it. So what happened to the Monarch team that was dispatched to contain that Titan?
The Monarch is like the Spaceballs Empire. Jay says a mixed black chick trying to hide in Tokyo. That's crazier than the giant monsters. That's true, Jay. And don't get me started on her spacious Tokyo hacker loft. Yeah, all of it. Like I don't even know if people remember this fucking show because it was so bad. Their romance arc, quote unquote, started because he skipped an art gallery because he was pouting. And then he met her. They
your
fucked.
dad's not there, but your mom would be there.
Yeah.
You're making your debut as an artist.
Yeah.
Okay, this woman who has set up the studio and stuff for you has gone out of her way to get you to take your step into the art world. And you're like, nah, I don't need to be there. I can show up later.
I don't even know if he shows up at all. He goes and fucking bones May, and then maybe he shows up late, or maybe he just doesn't go. I can't remember now. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what like Japanese moms would do. My fucking parents would whip my ass if they were like, "Hey, we got you this like career opportunity, and you told me to fuck myself."
You know what they would do? You've watched Godzilla 2014, right?
A while ago, yeah.
Okay, well, when Bryan Cranston's character gets arrested and his son goes to the jail in Tokyo, I think it's Tokyo, to get him, there is, before his dad comes out, there's a Japanese teenager who comes out, and the parents descend on this teenager. The dad's all mad, yelling at him.
Yeah.
And stuff, and they drag him out of.
Yeah, if you got your kid like some job hookups and they just didn't show up, I mean, you'd lose your fucking mind. And Kentaro is supposed to be like one of the guys that we're rooting for.
Yeah.
And he just gradually turns into more of a bitch as the season goes on. Like at first he's like, "Oh, I want to find my dad," whatever. And then there's a random.
He left us in the desert. I don't want to find my dad.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. There's a random point. I mean, him and May should get in a relationship. Like, if him and May met, they could both just pivot whenever they fucking needed to.
Oh, you mean the other May?
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot her name was May too.
Like
Jesus,
May, yeah.
I meant Star Wars
His
May.
girlfriend is May.
Yeah, no, I meant Star Wars May.
Yeah.
Star Wars May, who after 17 years and 3 dead Jedi just says, I don't know if I'm sure about this now. Okay.
I don't want to be a baddie. I'm going to turn myself in.
I'll
arrest you. Not when they know what I know.
I looked for no evidence and I killed 3 people.
Isn't it just 2 people? Because she doesn't kill the Wookiee guy. Right?
Oh, well, he's just dead, yeah.
Yeah, he's just dead.
Well, I mean, technically, she didn't kill Tommen either. That motherfucker can't go through a show without committing suicide. Jay says neither of them acted Japanese.
Cultural appropriation.
Damn, Jay, you're on a roll tonight.
Oh, they do that in the finale of this Doctor Who. Okay. The companion asks, like, what's with all the Egyptian stuff? Because there's some kind of memory computer TV thing, and it's showing an old Doctor Who that dealt with Sutek. And so the companion asks you, what's with all the Egyptian stuff? And this new doctor goes, culture appropriation.
Oh my god.
And everyone in the watch party is like, shut up!
I don't know if I've ever heard someone say that term unironically. Except for on TV. Fuck. Like, I just couldn't even imagine a situation where someone said something and I was like, you culturally appropriated that. Like,
watch them make a new Stargate and
oh god,
and talk about how it cultural appropriated.
I mean, I've heard that's what Star Trek has devolved into, but I've never been a Trekkie.
Yeah, I haven't watched.
I heard that is it
stuff.
Picard is the newer one? I heard that one of them just devolved into like an apology tour. But
Picard had, I think, like 2 bad seasons because I was watching the Dave Collins show on that. And so like the first 2 seasons he said were really bad. The season 3 was like they got new writers. And actually it was a decent season.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I think it had 4th season. I'm not sure how that went. Rated.
Yeah, Star Trek has never been my thing. Jay says Tommen's beard is, or sorry, Jakin says Tommen's beard is so puby. That is like when you talk about ineptitude in this show, from fucking writing all the way to casting, it's just like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. Right? Like you need a guy who can look whatever, balding, but also young. And you cast Tommen who looks 15. Yeah. I mean, damn, I just got blasted. Jay says Picard was awful, but the 3rd season was worth watching, and it was good for the old school Trekkies.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I still haven't brought myself to watch it because I'm rewatching my way through Next Generation.
I've never watched any Star Trek. I've heard the old stuff is good. It's one of those things.
There's a lot of good stuff, but there are some episodes where like the writing kind of
It's almost like comics for me, where I know there's like a million versions, and it just kind of feels like overwhelming. So I've always just been kind of like, eh. Oh, sorry, Jay. Or Jockin. He said it's like saying irregardless. It's either Star Trek Picard. Wait, no. Is it Star Trek? Are you saying it's like Star Trek or Picard? Or Star Trek Picard? I don't say irregardless. That's a pet peeve, so I'm not sure what I'm getting shit for right now that I need to respond to. Fucking Trekkies.
Hey.
I did like Galaxy Quest though.
Galaxy Quest is funny.
See, like that movie.
Watch them try to remake that nowadays.
Oh God. Jockin says Tommen looked like a woman balding with a gross beard.
Oh, the bearded lady from the carnival, you know.
Oh yeah, with Hugh Jackman.
The greatest show, yeah.
Oh God, that was a movie that I feel like made money, but then everyone was like, "Oh, that's disgusting." Like he was a not nice person.
People were upset that it either wasn't historically accurate, because there's that bit like between him and the singer. They try to like movie. Like,
I never saw it.
There's a singer, and they try to have the movie tries to frame it as an affair going on, and people were because like historically accurate, like there wasn't an affair, but actually, the singer herself, like he's gonna go back home, and she thought like she assumed stuff, and he's like, no, I'm going home. So after her last performance, she like grabs him and kisses him right in front of everybody. So they take pictures and print the scandal in the paper.
Nice.
But all criticisms are on him though. The people who watch the movie, I haven't really seen anyone criticize her for being the one.
Oh yeah.
To kiss him.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. You can talk to chat for a minute.
I'm not watching the stream. Hold on.
All right. Jay says, "OG Trek, Next Generation, and Deep Space Nine." Then I was out.
Deep Space Nine is definitely really good. I liked Voyager. I like after season 3, when season 4, when 709 comes in, that's where Voyager really takes off for me. So I enjoy that. But like in the first 3 seasons of Voyager, there's a Kess, I think her name is, and she can get really weird sometimes. I don't have a link to the stream, guys, so I can't watch it. I don't have my computer. And YouTube doesn't work on my little device here. There were a lot of times I think the best captain is Captain Sisko. Like I said, I was recently watching my way through Next Generation, and I just watched an episode where Picard like really like this is Picard. This is where he's shining the most as a captain. So this Romulan defector, gets on the Enterprise, and he tells Picard that the Romulans are preparing for war in the neutral zone. Now Picard isn't really picking up on anything. There's like some strange signals and stuff, but he's not really finding anything to back up what the Romulan is saying. And at first, he's not going to go into the neutral zone and investigate. But then the Romulan, who's this admiral, the Romulan makes this very passionate speech on why he defected. And Picard finally goes, okay, we'll go in the neutral zone and investigate. But Picard's still thinking it might be a trap. It might not be, as the Romulan says. He goes in the neutral zone with backup. So when they go to the planet where the Romulan said the Romulans would be building their bases and weapons of war, and there's nothing there, Picard says it's a trap. They were testing your loyalty because you were questioning them. This whole thing was you question your loyalty. It's a trap. We need to leave now. So as the Enterprise turns away to leave, 2 Romulan warbirds decloak, and the guy who called, the Romulan who hails Picard, is a Romulan that Picard has had dealings with before, and Picard got the upper hand on him. So he's all smug, and he's got Picard dead to rights. Picard the Enterprise definitely won't survive against 2 Romulan warbirds. And he's talking about how he's going to take pieces of the Enterprise and display them as a great war trophy. And he's telling Picard to surrender. Picard says he's not going to. And he has Worf send a message. And 3 Klingon bird of prey decloak. And they're surrounding the Romulan ships.
I have no idea what I just came back to. I just heard a bunch of stuff about Romulans and ships and shit. I don't even fucking know. And then I killed myself. Damn it!
Oh, that was you. I was like, some of my team just fell off the map.
I think I've done that every game we've played. Just so you know.
But that was the first time I noticed.
I thought having a couple warm-up games would help, but
yeah, I was telling chat that Captain Sisko from DS9 is definitely the best captain. But there are times rewatching my way through Next Generation where I really liked Picard.
I thought Picard and Kirk were always the favorites.
Kirk has never been a favorite of mine. He's a ladies' man almost every episode.
Is Kirk William Shatner?
Yes.
Okay.
There's only like one real episode of Kirk that I like, and that's the one with the triples. Just a really funny episode.
I mean, nothing you say is gonna mean anything to me. So I just know that he talks like this in the show. But beyond that, my knowledge of Star Trek is like, I saw the J.J. Abrams movies, and apparently the Trekkies fucking hate them.
Yeah, my dad is the one who got me into Star Trek. He grew up watching Star Trek, loved Star Trek. And so it was a thing that we bonded over watching Star Trek. And when the JJ movies came out, it's like, oh, Dad, you watch these. Now, I watched the first one, and I was kind of like, well, I felt like it started out good. And then Chris Pine as Kirk, he's so whiny and depressed. It kind of reminded me of Man of Steel.
Oh, wow. That's bad.
Of Superman just being all, depressed and stuff. And
see, I thought the movies were okay.
Tell him to grow up.
I thought they were okay, but I had no context either. So
yeah,
I could see like a situation similar to Halo, where like a normal person might be like, "Oh yeah, it's all right," but then a Halo fan is like, "Fuck this show," and everybody involved.
Yeah, so my dad watched the first one, and then when the others came out, he refused to watch it. I guess Star Trek.
See, like I knew like when Benedict Cumberbatch did the "My name is Khan," like I had heard that line before, and I liked it. Yeah. But I think all the Trek people were like, blasphemy.
Because you know what they said when it was revealed that Khan was going to be in that movie. Okay, they said they were not going to do. It was not a remake of Wrath of Khan, which is a good film.
The original, I assume.
The original, but they have stuff in the Chris Pine one with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Whoa, fuck!
Where it's like it's either a line or a scene that is from that movie. Like in the original, it's Spock who dies from the exposure, not Kirk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But they do like the whole scene at the door.
I mean, I think I'm a little bit biased because I like Benedict Cumberbatch as an actor, and then I don't know anything about Star Trek, so for me, it's like, oh, he sounds cool, so whatever. But yeah, I mean, I could easily see if it fucks with the lore and kind of shits on the original, then I could see why people would be mad, because that's one of those scenes that I feel like is so famous that even non-Trek people have heard the line at least.
Well, and it's from the original. Like, my name is Khan. And it's said so powerfully by the original actor who played Khan. But at least for the Star Trek movies, they did say that it is an alternate timeline because the Romans go back in time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it is.
So so they tried to
separate it.
They tried to weasel it.
Yeah.
I hate that shit so much.
By saying, hey, the shows you love, they're still there, they're still canon. This is just an alternate timeline.
Yeah, this is just us molesting the brand. like look away. Jay says that J.J. Abrams is cancer in a mystery box. I think that's absolutely correct. J.J. Abrams he's like
10 mystery boxes inside of each other.
Yeah, he's like one of those Russian dolls. J.J. Abrams to me is like the guy who's very confident and just smart enough that people believe it when he says that he's smart.
And
then everyone else is like, fuck that guy, he's a retard.
Woohoo!
I got a fucking double kill to end the game. I only had 6 kills. Good lord. And then Jakin says Kirk is the action guy and Picard is the thinker.
Yeah, Picard will definitely try to, think his way. What's the best way out of a situation? the best way to approach a situation. Like the scene I was talking about. So this episode was that a Romulan defector comes to Picard and says the Romulans are, they want another war. They're preparing for another. And Picard doesn't, believe it at first. They're not really picking up anything that any other, reports or signals and stuff that what he's saying is true. But after the Romulan gives this really passionate speech on why he's defecting, Picard says, "All right, we'll go into the neutral zone, and we'll investigate the planet, and we'll see what's going on." But still suspecting that it might be a trap, he takes a little insurance along with him. That when they go to the planet and they find nothing there, and he says, "All right, this is definitely a trap. We're leaving." And the Enterprise turns around. 2 Romulan warboards decloak. And the Romulan in charge is someone that Picard has tangled with before.
Mm.
And Picard got the upper hand, over him before. So he's definitely bearing a grudge against Picard. And he's just like all smug. It's like, "I've got you dead to rights. And I'm taking you and your crew will be prisoners of war. The Enterprise will be cut down into pieces and displayed as a war trophy." And Picard's like, "Nope, not gonna surrender." And he has Worf, his security guard, send out a message, and 3 Klingon bird of prey ships, they decloak, and they're surrounding the Romulans. So they're at like a Mexican standoff. And the Roman's like, "You still won't survive if we open fire on you." And he goes, "Maybe we won't, but you won't survive either." So it's like, are you prepared to die today?
It sounds way more interesting than whatever's happening now.
Yeah, definitely. So then the Romulan, the 2 ships, they back off. And Picard and the Klingon ships, they head back to Federation space.
Let's see.
Yeah, but it shows like Picard isn't an idiot, Yeah.
Yeah.
Which they then have him, in the Picard show, at least the first season, they had him doing stupid stuff.
Well, I think the writers at this point have just gotten so dumb or incompetent that like every character has to be essentially mentally retarded for the story to function. Like it just doesn't. Well, it doesn't make sense because no one does anything rational like ever. Fuck you.
Yeah, and then there's a time like where the guy who played Kirk, once he got to a certain age and he's still doing some Star Trek movies, he moved on from captain to admiral. He's like, I'm an older now, I can't.
Well, that makes sense.
It wouldn't make sense for me to still be a captain, and like he still gets to be in charge of the Enterprise now, but it's it's because of situations that happen. Whereas Picard isn't an admiral. He should be. Maybe a retired admiral with how old Patrick Stewart is.
I was gonna say he's just fucking senile. Just a senile captain.
Yeah, like no one should trust Picard at his age to be in charge of a ship like the Enterprise.
Jakin says that no one that likes good storytelling likes the Halo show. I'll be honest, I don't know who's watching that shit. So the fact that you made it 4, I think, is impressive. If I wasn't making fucking videos, I'd have made it about 15 minutes.
Well, see, originally, like when it came out, I just watched the first episode and it's like, nope, not my Halo, not watching it. And then I went to go see a friend this year, my vacation, and she's like, "We're watching the Halo show," because Halo the second season was out, and we were watching reviews on it, and she's like, "Oh, like we need to watch the first season and then we'll watch the second season." We made it 4 episodes, and by episode 4, we were both just on our phones playing games, not really paying attention anymore to what was happening on the screen.
Well, it's nice that you hang out with mentally handicapped people in your spare time.
Yeah, we both hated Kwan Ha every time she was on screen.
Oh God, yeah.
And we were like, she's getting people killed. She's getting people killed for this rebellion that no one wants to keep carrying on.
Also, that a 16-year-old child is trying to lead.
Yeah. And
That
then trying to
makes
make
no
it
fucking
seem that
sense.
like because she's the daughter of a rebel leader, that she somehow should have the clout to be able to take over the rebellion.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not a monarchy.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the same thing. All those rebellions led by fucking monarchs.
Yeah,
Hey.
and Leia was involved with the rebellion not because of her parents. Like she joined the cause. Bail was in it, but she didn't get her job because of Bail saying, "Oh yeah, my daughter she totally lead." She's not leading the rebellion. Mon Mothma is. She's got Leia has her job, but she's not the leader of it just because her adopted dad was involved in the rebellion forming.
You've put more thought into Halo in this conversation than they did the entire fucking time they were writing it. So
that's the writer.
fucking die.
I was like, let me fix your show, please just hand me the script. Thank you.
Yeah, that was the end part.
We delete Quan Ha's character. Yep.
That was the end part of both my videos that I did for my full season reviews. Was like, what would I have done? What's up, Flack? Flack says, I don't know what's worse, Halo or Acolyte. Whew. That is actually hard. I don't know. Let me think about it for a second, because
I mean, Halo is ruining characters we know and love. Acolyte, we didn't really know anyone except Kiadi Mundi.
And they're just ruining the Force, so
yeah.
Fuck. I think Halo's worse. Halo at no point is a functional story. Like, there's no characters. I mean, the Acolyte's in the same boat, so.
Yeah, but Halo, the Acolyte is also like a TV show in a line of TV shows that have just gone from bad to worse.
Well, that's what I was actually going to say next. Is I think that Acolyte is benefiting from the other Star Wars stuff being so bad that the drop off is like a little bit lower.
Mm-hmm.
But Halo was, I mean, as far as most fans are concerned, like the opportunity for Halo live action, and they just shit their pants. So, and then Jakin says he cares about Halo, so he thinks Halo's worse. He hasn't cared about Star Wars since the prequel trilogy.
Yeah, Star Wars for me is episodes 1 through 6.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where everybody's at. I like the Darth Bane books too. Let's see. No, they allowed Patrick Stewart into the writing room, which is how they made the Space Jesus bullshit, is what Jakin says. And then Jay says that Picard is the very current day leader. Yeah, so it seems like chat thinks that Halo's worse. But the fact that like the only conversation we can have is like which franchise got bent over with lube instead of fucking dry. Like, that's where we're at. Good Lord. I mean, I think Halo is the one that I take the most personally. But Star Wars is right behind it. Star Trek, unfortunately, I can't care about because I just haven't seen it. But, Star Wars, I think I watched the first trilogy when I was a kid. And like even then, like, you want to be Luke Skywalker. Like, you want to be Han. No one in their right fucking mind wants to be Rey or Finn. Or Poe.
Yeah, it's if you're a Finn, you run around going, Rey!
Rey! Yeah, and then, I mean, the only one that escaped from that was Oscar Isaac. Well, and Adam Driver did. But they're both obviously very talented actors.
Mm-hmm.
Daisy Ridley.
I did like his character in Dune. Oscar Isaac, like how you got.
Oh, he was really good for Leto.
Yeah, he's really good. Yeah,
he's really good in Ex Machina. I mean, he's good in a bunch of stuff. And it's actually, what's funny is so is the redheaded guy is good in Ex Machina. The one who's Admiral,
Hux.
Hux. I was going to say Fucks, but yeah.
I only watched episode 7, and I waited until it went on DVD because I heard like a mixed bag from people of what they thought about Force Awakens.
There's a big.
I watched it on DVD, and I felt like I was watching. I was like, "This is kind of A New Hope," but told less. Like A New Hope was like not told as well. And then the ending where Luke and Rey are just staring at each other.
Oh my god.
And the camera's going around and they're staring at each other and staring at each other and staring at each other, and the movie finally ends. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wait and see. But before I sit down and watch episode 8, because episode 8 hadn't come out yet, when episode 8 came out, that was the first movie that was making me actively going on YouTube and looking for reviews to see if it was worth my time to sit through, because episode 7 I felt wasn't worth my time. And so that's how I found Mauler, Shadiversity, and then EFAP and
and
Erotic.
That's a lot of people. And there's a big people like a big contingent of people who are like, oh, I never liked Force Awakens, blah blah blah, which the movie made $2 billion. So at the time it was getting support at least.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously didn't have a channel at that time. That was a long time ago. But I remember walking out of the theater because everyone I had talked to was like, oh, it's the best Star Wars movie since the originals, blah, blah, blah. And I remember walking out of the theater just being like, well, I want to like it, but I feel like hollow. And I couldn't, if you had asked me to criticize it, I probably couldn't have. But I just felt like it was just empty. There was just something that was just off. And I tried to watch it again on Blu-ray, fell asleep, and then never watched it again.
Yeah, something that made me angry when I was watching it was that line when they ask how that woman got Luke's lightsaber, and she goes, "A good story for another time." Like as a writer, that is just a cheap cop out of having to explain something. And as a writer, it just made me mad that I spend so much time on world building and lore and characters, dialogue, and here's this movie.
That just says fuck it.
Making it $1 billion. It's just like, nope, we're not going to explain it. And guess what? It never gets explained. And I just
that's the type of thing
where
I
just
feel
told me that
like
the writers had no idea. The writers had no idea how Luke's lightsaber got there, so we can't explain it because we don't know.
It's the type of thing where I feel like you notice it on a subconscious level at the time, and you're just like, this movie is not good. But you don't know, or at least I don't. I mean, maybe people who are more articulate do. But I just didn't know why. I was like, what am I missing? And then you watch it again and you hear some of the stuff pointed out and you're like, okay. Like it's just empty. Like there's no real thought into it. If you start thinking, it makes less sense.
Yeah.
The characters are just very surface level.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of what kind of did me in for Star Wars.
Yeah, so I didn't watch Last Jedi. I just watched some reviews on that, and I was like, you know what? Most of these are saying the same thing, and it's hard to get people to say the same thing. Something, but what they're saying, I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not gonna watch that. And then Rise of Skywalker happened, and I didn't watch it, but again, I watched in reviews, and I found it very funny how Ruin Johnson did his own thing, just threw out everything that JJ was trying to set up in Mystery Box. He does his own thing. So then JJ has to run damage control and try to...
that whole thing was bizarre. I mean, how you could invest $4 billion in a franchise and then not have a fucking plan is incredible to me.
And your directors working on this trilogy
not talking.
are not They're not talking, not on the same page, not
Being,
working together.
being spiteful.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jakin says the problem with stories these days is everything has to be funny. And that's a big part of it too, is there's not very much room for serious moments to just breathe. Like,
Yeah.
it's just quippy all the time.
Mhm.
Flax says a lot of the stories feel like AI is writing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
That was something I
that's a
liked.
huge issue too.
Yeah. That was something I liked in Dune Part 2 is I did feel like some scenes did have your breathing room. Like when the music cut out completely and you just when Paul is fighting Austin Butler's character
Oh
and
yeah,
there wasn't any music.
that
And
was
so
a
you
smart
just
choice.
hear them. Yeah, you just hear them like they're fighting, their knives clash, they're grunting and stuff, they move. It felt more impactful than if there had been music.
There's 3 guys on my corpse, fuckers. No, I agree with you. I mean,
Mhm.
Denis, I just butchered his name a few minutes ago too. Villeneuve. Whatever. He's a good filmmaker. Like regardless of, he's not 100% obviously because no one is, but
Mhm.
you know he knows what he's doing. I mean, like Dune does a lot of stuff right. I just wish the characters were a bit more fleshed out. But you know, I mean, I also complain about the world building, so I do understand that time is just a limiting factor there. But Star Wars, I don't think has that excuse. Chat's saying that movies today are just making money off nostalgia and the built-in fan bases. That's for fucking sure. I mean, how many original movies right now are making any fucking money? Or even coming out, let alone making fucking money. I mean, good lord. It feels like nothing. Like Jay says he watched The Exorcist Believer last night. I can't believe how awful it was. Well, Jay, if I had made a video, I never would have recommended a horror movie to you. Because I don't watch horror movies. Every horror movie stresses me the fuck out. And then as soon as it's over, I go, well, that was stupid. And every character
I'm
in
not
the
a
movie
horror
was
fan.
stupid. It's just not my fucking thing at all.
Yeah. I'm not a horror movie fan, um, but I get invited by my one friend Pendulum. He has a channel. He mostly covers horror films, like bad horror films.
Oh yeah.
And so there are some that he will invite me to watch because he wants my reaction. I am the one person in the watch party who actually will get scared by things and jump, so he wants that reaction. Even though like I will agree that yes, it's dumb, it's stupid. Like I actually like will get scared. Like we watched this one that was called Wish Upon.
I haven't even heard of that one.
And I forget when it was made, but the woman gets the what's it called in the sink, the um not trash compactor.
Oh, the
The
garbage disposal?
garbage disposal, yeah. It's like not working right. So she sticks her hand down to figure out what's wrong. And I started freaking out. Because I was just like, no, don't do that, don't do that, I can't watch, no, don't. You know, just doing that.
Sounds like Final Destination.
And then, yeah, and Pendulum, he's like, oh, don't worry, Shammy, it's not going to happen the way you think it is. I was like, but it is going to happen, right? Like, he goes, yeah, but not the way you think. And sure enough, like, her hand comes out, but then her hair, which like wasn't all that long before, I could have sworn, but then suddenly her braid is a lot longer. And so her hair goes down the sink, and the garbage disposal comes back on, so it gets stuck. And that's how she dies.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, I was freaking out. Not what like I can't watch.
Chat says that horror movies are great, but the genre is a minefield with a few diamonds. And someone's recommending The First Power. And for me, I just don't like the whole thing. It's not a matter of it being good or bad. Like I don't enjoy the experience. of just being like antsy and waiting for the jump scares and stuff. I mean, something like Cabin in the Woods I enjoyed because that was a pretty funny movie, obviously pretty satirical, but it's just not my thing, broadly speaking.
Mhm. Yeah, but I didn't know this when I became friends with Pendulum, and he invited me to a watch party, for movies for his channel. I didn't know that he did, you know, horror movies, and so I told people because I was so excited. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be watch party. It's gonna be on YouTube, and so what's his channel? And so I told my friends the channel, and my one friend she goes, "Oh, looks like he covers mostly horror movies." I was like, "What?" Like, oh, I agreed to the watch party, so I joined, and it was this movie countdown where if you download this app and it tells you the time you're gonna die, like how many days or months or years you have to live.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and in the contract you sign that you agree to the terms that people don't read. It says that in knowing the time you're gonna die, you can't do anything to change it. But because people don't read it, so when this girl finds out she only has a couple hours to live, and then her drunk boyfriend gets in the car and says, like, "Come on, I'll drive you home." He's like, "No." She walks home, and he ends up in a car accident where like a tree goes through the passenger side where she would have been. And then the demon comes and kills her because she broke the terms of.
Huh, it's not a bad premise.
It's not, but how it's done, it wasn't good. It wasn't a good movie.
I could see that.
And of course, it ends with this other app, coming up. You count down to for a sequel.
Istad says I'm just a big baby. Fuck you, Istad. Actually, him and I talked for like 2 hours today. He'll probably stream with me on Sunday.
Nice.
So we can talk about anime and I can bitch about this incest fetish. That is a fucking thing. I don't know why. Do you watch anime or no?
No, it's not really a genre I can get into. I am watching Monster with a couple of friends, and the only thing that has kept me watching is the story. But a lot of like anime, I just haven't been able to get into.
What genre do you prefer? Because I mean, anime has pretty much every genre, but there's definitely a lot of it that I can see why it wouldn't appeal to people.
Mm-hmm. I think I mostly prefer science fiction and fantasy. Like I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. Do not give me started on Rings of Power. We will be here all night.
I never really watched it, thank Christ. Jay's calling me out. He says jump scares are for kids. Filthy like The Thing, right? I did like The Thing. The Thing was awesome. You out
or me because I jump at jump scares, even if it's a bad movie.
Well, I said that I hate them. It stresses me out.
Mm-hmm.
And Jakin says everyone dies. I don't get why that's scary. Jakin, I feel like you're fucking with me tonight. Disagreeing with me on everything. Istad says Grimgar. You mean for Shamrock to watch? Because I was going to recommend maybe more of like a drama tour. Like something like Violet Evergarden that's very character driven. I mean, if you like sci-fi, I'd have to like think about it a little bit because I wouldn't just want to recommend like a monster or a robot, like our robot show.
I mean, there have been some episodes of Monster, that have been like kind of rough, like given the subject matter. That I was like, okay, can we just stop here, guys, and pick it up another day? take a break. One of them, like I got so mad when I think he's a detective that gets killed. He's trying to investigate, what's going on, and he had like a rough life. He went through drinking, alcohol, being an alcoholic, and he was turning his life around. So I was really getting invested. We don't really know him for a couple episodes, but I was getting really invested in his character. And then he gets murdered, and I was just Oh, I wish my friend who was showing me the show had recorded, because he and my other two friends
Fuck.
watching it were just laughing at my reaction because I was like, darn this show, forgive me to like this character, I don't care about him. It's so sad.
Yeah, I don't know why I haven't seen that one. Is it on Netflix?
I think so. Like again, my friend is streaming it, for me to watch, so I'm not sure. I think it's on Netflix.
Because Istad is saying Grimgar since you said you like fantasy, and then he has to think about more for sci-fi. Maybe Psychopaths, if you don't mind something a little bit dystopian. The first season in particular of Psychopaths is really fucking good. And The Thing is a classic, Jaken. I wasn't saying I didn't like it. I thought you were giving me shit because I was bitching about jump scares, and you were like, I thought you liked The Thing. The Thing's awesome. I just watched it last week again. To me, like that's what horror movies should be like. Like it's just nice where everyone's not retarded. The monster is fucking scary. You don't really know what it can do, but it also doesn't just act like a monster. It's kind of smart on its own. The Thing is awesome. I thought you were making fun of me for saying that I don't like jump scares, but then saying I like The Thing. Fuck. But for sci-fi, for anime, I think maybe Psychopaths. So Psychopaths, I mean, you see this in the first episode. It's futuristic, and they have a system called Sybil, that determines your level of criminality, and the main characters are, they call them like hounds. Essentially, they work for the enforcers, but maybe their guns are called the enforcers, and they essentially put people down who are at a certain level of mental instability to keep peace in society. The first season's really good. The second season's okay, and the third season I liked a lot too. But anime is one of those things that I think people just think of like big titties and lolicons and shit, and harems and whatever bullshit. But there's a lot of actually good stuff if you just know what you're looking for and you're not going at random. Because if you go at random, you're definitely looking at a lot of "are you fucker, bitch." Dog Soldiers, The Descent. Is The Descent the one in the cave? I think I've seen part of that, but I don't think I watched it. Did you say The Thing wasn't good? That's what chat's saying.
Say what?
Did you say you didn't like The Thing?
No, I haven't seen it. I don't.
Oh, okay, because that's what chat said.
No, I didn't. I haven't seen it, so I don't.
Come on, chat. Don't fuck with me.
No.
And also, I feel like there's kind of a borderline between like thriller and horror too. Like I don't like a movie like Fallen with Denzel. I think falls into the like more thriller kind of suspense category, but it's a really good movie. I like it a lot. But something like The Conjuring, not really my thing. And then, you have the stuff that's older, like Halloween, that I'm sure was scary at the time, but not really my thing. Like, I kind of found it boring. But I know it's also like 50 years old at this point, so I don't know if maybe I'm being a little bit unfair.
When the original King Kong came out in the 1930s, it was found scary for its time.
Oh, really? I thought King Kong was always just an action movie.
No. I think back then people termed it like like sci-fi horror or something, because I think I got assassinated.
Huh.
People found it pretty scary.
They sure as hell
You
were
watch it now.
watching the Peter Jackson one. That bitch will put you to sleep. Or at least me. I mean, that movie was fucking forever long. Have you seen that one with Big Nose? Clive Owen?
The Peter Jackson one. Yeah, I saw it.
And then half the movie's them running through fucking big CGI bugs and yeah, not my thing at all.
Yeah, I like the 1930s one. There's a lot. They use like a stop action,
Yeah.
motion stop action. That's really cool. And even though like the way Kong looks is kind of silly, maybe because how his face is, but it's still pretty cool what they were able to do, in the 1930s.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely an age aspect to it, but I don't know. I feel like decent movies are still decent, even if they're old.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Because I recently showed the original Magnificent Seven to a couple friends who had never seen it before, and they really liked it.
I can't tell if chat's fucking with me now.
What they did.
Well, Jay's being serious. He said, "Have you seen De Palma thrillers like Blowout and Dress to Kill?" No, I actually haven't even heard of either one of those. And then Istad said, "You mean you didn't like Jack Black and King Kong? What the fuck is wrong with you?" But I can't tell if he's just being a dick. Because he knows me, so he might just be being an asshole. Jay, you talking about more older movies? Because like older movies, I've seen like a lot of Jesus. I've seen a lot of like the mainstream ones, but not like, if they were like popular at the time and then kind of faded out. I probably haven't seen them. Oh, I said I was trolling. Suck my balls, fucker. But no, like I mean, even Mad Max. Like Mad Max was a movie that I had heard of, obviously, but I just never had the desire to watch it until Jay asked me to. I'm gonna run to the bathroom again real quick. You can talk to them about horror movies or whatever, or just talk about whatever you want for like 30 seconds.
Can you send me the link to the stream? I don't think he heard me. Oh. La da 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 da. Oh, I should have backed out. Oh well. So Casual might die a few times this match before he gets back. I will try to protect him. It'll be hard on this map. Alright.
All right, there we go. Let's see.
Thanks.
They're early 80s, they're classics. Yeah, see, I haven't even heard of those, Jay. And my dad, like, grew up in the 80s and, like, kept me on 80s shit. So I think you're picking niche stuff or stuff at least didn't last, didn't last over time. Oh, this is a remake of Ascension, huh? I love this map in Halo 2. Let's see.
Yeah, this one, if you go up against a team of tryhards and they know all the spawns and stuff,
Yeah.
they can get the map locked down and just pick you off every time you spawn in.
Let's see. Someone said, "Oh, BMCC. What's up, buddy?" Said 28 Days Later is a good one. I've heard good things about that one actually. See, like zombie stuff, I feel like is kind of a tweener between horror and like action, to where I can usually enjoy zombie stuff for the most part. I mean, obviously, not all of it's good, but like, I think I lump zombie stuff into more like sci-fi action. Cillian Murphy is goated. And then, Jakin says Mad Max and Road Warrior were awesome. Was Road Warrior the second one or the third one? Or was Thunderdome the third one? Because I know that one of them people shit on. I think it's the one with Tina Turner, which might have been Thunderdome or Beyond Thunderdome. Oh, I got assassinated for like the third fucking time. Cillian Murphy's the main guy in 28 Days Later. Yeah, I knew that. I just haven't seen it. I heard it was like super scary when it came out, and I was still a kid, and I just never saw it. But you know, it was the guy that did Civil War, that pile of shit that just came out.
But, that movie.
But I mean, I think Alex Garland is kind of hit and miss, like, you know, most directors. But no, 28 Days Later, I've heard, I think from a lot of people, that it's maybe the best zombie movie. Damn, you got 14 kills and we've only got 21? Jesus Christ. I need fucking I'm blanking on his name. Who's the guy that says McQueen a bunch?
My queen?
Yeah, in Game of Thrones.
Oh, Jon Snow.
No, is it him? I thought it was the bald guy.
No, Jon Snow. He's all like, my queen, and I don't want it. And
I was thinking the bald guy.
He's the guy who dies, gets resurrected, and does nothing.
I says talking cash shit about how I have no fucking kills. There you go. I got one. Fucker. Hey man, I warned everybody that I haven't played in a long time.
Traded.
Oh shit. Come on, bitch. Fuck. Did people like the sequel? I think it was called 28 Weeks Later.
Did they make a trilogy 28 months later?
I don't remember if there was a third one. There's one on a small tower. Fucking asshole. And there's two by the Banshee spawn. Also assholes.
Yep. One of my ex small tower.
I say you never saw the sequel. Yeah, I thought the sequel did okay, but I knew the first one was like really well received. Oh, it came out a lot later. Okay. Did it still have Cillian Murphy or no? Or Killian, whatever the fuck. The sequel wasn't as good, but still worth a watch. Okay. Fuck. God, I am just getting annihilated tonight. Maybe I should just move to like Griff Ball or something.
I really don't play that one, so I'd be like, you and I would switch places. You'd be really good, and I'd be bad.
I mean, it's just swinging a hammer, so kind of just hope for the best. Oh, Jeremy Renner was in it. Okay. That's interesting. Well, I guess you can't say anything without spoiling. I was going to ask if... Fuck you. Fuck you. God damn it. What Well, I was gonna say, did Cillian die in the first one? I guess you don't want to tell me. Or if he just didn't want to come back. I'll probably wrap up after our next game or two.
Okay, so did you want to play Griffball?
Oh, I was just joking about Griffball.
Okay.
But we can pick a different mode if you want. I'm not sure if it's going to change the result, but
No,
Hey-
I usually just play SWAT.
Halo Reach is
Or,
deadly. Chat's talking shit to me.
Yeah, I usually just play SWAT, or I'll do a firefight for challenges sometimes.
Jay says Shaun of the Dead was the best zombie movie of the last 25 years. Shaun of the Dead is really good. Oh, okay. BMCC says 28 years later is coming out, and it does have Cillian in it. See,
Well, they skipped 28 months later.
I think my favorite zombie movie is probably Train to Busan. But Shaun of the Dead is really good. Oh, I was asking what are the game modes that we can even play that don't like require any skill?
Well, game modes that don't really require a lot of skill. Firefight.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Firefight's just against the computer, right?
Yeah, be four of us on a team against waves of enemies.
Yeah. It's just been a while.
Yeah. You want to do that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I would definitely pick normal or whatever the option is, though.
All right, don't worry. We got unlimited lives, so we're not gonna do the hardcore firefight.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know in Halo 4, the Spartan Ops, you had unlimited lives, but then in Firefight, sometimes there's only like a little cache you have.
Yeah, it depends on when you choose firefight and then which mode you choose to play. I like choosing unlimited lives because I have no idea what my teammates are like.
Yeah. Chat says co-op campaign.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, we can do a campaign. Maybe on one of the Sunday streams. I wouldn't care to break that up over a couple weeks. Oh, we got jets and overshields and everything, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Oh, is this the first level? This map? I think it is.
Yes.
I'll be honest, BMCC. When I play campaign, it's almost always legendary, and then I use up a lot of the speedrun techniques. So I don't know how well that would go in campaign or co-op.
Hey, as long as you know the way, I can follow you.
Well, I'm not very good at it, so I'm pretty inconsistent. Because I ended up learning all that shit just to get all the achievements.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the achievements is beating all the levels in under 3 hours combined. So that took me, a fair amount of time. And then
the only speed run I have down is Nightfall in the Reach campaign.
Is that the one that you just kind of sprint for like 3 minutes?
Yeah, you can do that. You can like skip people. You don't have to fight your way past them, and then you can glitch through the gates so that the enemies don't spawn. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Reach is pretty tough actually for speed running from what I remember. But Train to Busan is a Korean zombie movie. It was on Netflix. It might not be there anymore. But that's probably my favorite one. Because I think it just does a good job of, smart characters, making the zombies scary. It's a fast zombie movie, which I don't know what people's preferences in general, but I'm kind of okay with either one. as long as they're used right. Like Walking Dead had slow zombies, which was fine until the show just got like boring as fuck. And for some reason, every human in an apocalypse is a cannibal. Did you watch Walking Dead or nah?
I've watched a couple episodes. So Sir Baller and his server, they've been watching their way through Walking Dead, and I'm not really a zombie fan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I've joined a couple times when I've been like not really doing anything, and so the episodes I've seen, like when I joined, have been like the least zombie episodes, which is totally not planned. Like I was just joining. It was like, oh, you joined a great time. This is the episode with the least amount of zombies. Like fantastic. But then the human drama is such that I'm like, why are they arguing? Why don't they have bigger things to be concerned about?
Yeah,
Like
that's yeah. The whole issue with Walking Dead is they kind of like once they get over the zombies, which is fairly early, then it just becomes like every group they run into is a cannibal, and it's like, okay, well, how many fucking humans are just eating people when everyone dies? But that's like what it devolves into. Is like every group is evil. Jay asked if you've seen Night, Dawn, or Day of the Dead. I actually haven't.
No.
Sorry, Jay. And then BMCC agrees that Walking Dead got shit toward the end. Yeah, for me, I think Walking Dead, once you got to like season 3, it kind of slowed down a lot. And then once you got to like season 5, it's like, okay. Like, we're dealing with just assholes. They're living in Alexandria. This place sucks. The people suck. All the characters that started the show are dead because they moved on with their careers. So, yeah, it kind of fell apart to me. Who's getting headshots on the grunts?
Not me. I'm using my rocket launcher.
I say we have fucking rockets. Like what?
He might be going for the pinpoint challenge.
Oh, okay.
Which is to get 100 headshots.
Oh, we do have a pistol. Okay, it's the secondary. Well, I was like, what is this asshole doing? Like hitting headshots with rockets or what?
That would be amazing if he could.
Well, I think you can get lucky and do it. I mean, but I aim for the feet. I've never played Firefight like this. This is like amusing.
Yeah, it can be a lot of fun.
Well, it's a lot less stressful than trying to do the actual firefight too. Where you're trying to like live through the whole thing.
Oh, yes, yes.
I mean, I think I've done it a couple times, but not easily. Istad thought that Dawn of the Dead was with George Clooney, but that's from Dusk Till Dawn, which I'm pretty sure is a war movie. But yeah, if you're like open to anime, there's plenty that I think you'd like in the right genres. But if people just recommend you like power fantasy isekai shit, like you're never gonna like it.
Yeah, it's just like even with like Monster, while I do like the story and some of the characters, sometimes the animation I don't like.
Yeah,
like when a character's talking to another character and the character's eyes are closed as they're talking, it annoys me.
Aren't they usually like
You don't have
Chinese?
to draw eyes.
Oh, sorry. He said it's a vampire movie, not a drama. My bad. I think a lot of times they're Chinese, right?
In Europe.
Oh, okay.
But there's with a couple the main guy is Japanese.
I'm about to blow myself up.
A lot of the other characters are European. But they'll just talk to somebody with their eyes closed. And I know they're probably doing it so they don't have to draw, the eyes.
Maybe.
But it just annoys me.
Yeah, that's a weird one. But I think you might like something like well, I wouldn't want you to commit like too much time.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like a Silent Voice, because it's just a movie, so it's only an hour and a half commitment. But it's a like redemption story about this kid who bullies a deaf girl. It's pretty good. Your Name is a good like supernatural sci-fi rom-com type deal. Violet Evergarden is a good just character-driven drama. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I think you'd probably enjoy if you enjoy Star Trek and stuff and fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have stuff like Steins Gate if you're into time travel. Like Steins Gate.
I'm usually not.
I'm usually not either.
Yeah, something that will irritate me how it's done. I've only liked it a couple times when it's done in Star Trek that I felt it was actually done well, and then in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Like how it's done in there, I've liked it, but not. So when the female doctor comes in, there were a couple times like what the time travel was done. It's just like, no. And then also with this newest doctor, Shudi Gatwa, again, some of the time travel stuff. I was like, I can't buy it.
Chat's giving me shit saying I described the movie as about a guy bullying a deaf girl. I said it's a redemption story, bitch. Like
they do say the best way to like when you're gonna recommend like a movie or TV show or even like a book, try to sum up in one sentence.
Yeah.
And then you can go on and give more detail.
Have you seen the Butterfly Effect? Butterfly Effect? Chat's asking. With Ashton Kutcher and I think Elizabeth Smart.
I don't remember like actors' names, but that's the one where they go back in time to kill that dinosaur because it's gonna die anyway. And someone steps on the butterfly.
No, that sounds like a way different movie.
Okay.
Now Chat's talking more shit. Saying that horror movies stress me out, but bullying deaf kids is good. Oh, Amy Smart, not Elizabeth Smart, yeah. I'm gonna kick your guys' fucking ass. And yeah, the boy and the deaf girl sets up the redemption. You can't have redemption if he doesn't start off as an asshole. And he's a kid, so it's not good. It's not good, but it's not like irredeemable. And yeah, Butterfly Effect is a good movie. It's with Ashton Kutcher. There's a time travel element to it where he's trying to go back and fix things. You didn't say the redemption part. Yes, I did, motherfucker. I said it's about a bully. I said it's about a kid bullying a deaf girl, and it's a redemption movie. How the fuck is that not saying that? But Butterfly Effect, he's trying to fix the past so that their lives work out. He keeps having to go back to different points and try different things. It's a solid movie.
Okay.
I think it's maybe from 2004. And it's like one of the few times that Ashton Kutcher is like serious, which is nice. Chat's gonna rewind and fact check me. if I said it was a redemption story or not. You're uninvited to this stream Sunday, motherfucker. Come on here, fact checking me. If I want to lie, it's my prerogative. And I'm pretty sure I said it anyway. Bastards.
Your chat is a lot tougher on you than mine has ever been.
Oh, yours is probably all full of simps. There you go. I'll be tough on your chat. This is like Grand Theft Auto once you put all the cheats on. And you just get to like launch shit. Did you fly up into the Phantom?
I'm on top of it, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I keep shooting it, but it's not blowing up. I guess it has like infinite health.
Yeah, you can't destroy this. You just the grunts that keep spawning in.
I guess you can see how many times I've made it to the bonus round. I don't even know the rules.
Oh yeah, if you die during bonus round, you can't come back.
Whoops. Did I just kill you?
No.
Okay. Thought I just blasted our teammate.
No, I don't think you can hurt your teammates in firefight.
Jay says, how much abuse do you take for $5 a month? A lot, apparently. Although you take the abuse for free since I called you old, so I think we're even. An iStat is saying that Ashton Kutcher had a good run with Butterfly Effect in the movie The Guardian with Kevin Costner. I haven't seen The Guardian. I think he's a Coast Guard or something.
Did you want to play another round or play something different?
What are the modes do you want to do? I can do one more. We can do one at Griffball. Fuck it. If we lose, it's all right. I cost us a lot of SWAT games, so.
All right, Griffball.
And I'll wrap up after that. Now I'm trying to focus on chat, talking shit. Okay, so yeah, the Guardian, he is a Coast Guard recruit. That's what I thought. I feel like that movie just got like really overlooked though. Like it kind of just came and went and no one cared. I'm not even sure if it was a bad movie or just for whatever reason just didn't get attention. Is there anything you're looking forward to seeing soon? I think I'm gonna go see the Bike Riders tomorrow. It's got Tom Hardy and Austin Butler in it, which I like both. So
I think what's coming out.
I mean, nothing really. Deadpool comes out in like a month. That Inside Out. I think Inside Out 2 just came out.
Yep.
But I never saw the first one. I'm not a huge Pixar fan, honestly.
Yeah. I think Pixar has a lot of good films, but then there's some others that I just kind of scratch my head at. I didn't like the first one. The second one, I guess the girl's a teenager now, and there are some weird people on the internet. I would just say that.
Oh, you talking about like the Rule 34 shit?
Well, they're trying to claim that she's a lesbian.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it's just it's just
I'm pretty sure that's what happened with that
where's
young
Griffball?
Jedi chick too.
Oh yeah, guys, because she comes out and she's like, yeah, my character's totally crushing on OSHA.
Which, well, inappropriate in multiple ways. But one being that she looks like she's about 15, and I think OSHA is supposed to be 24, 25.
Yeah, OSHA was what 8 or 10 when the Jedi took her.
Oh, Jay
Like
says the new
or-
Alien movie. That one's called it starts with an R. Romulans? Romulan?
Romulus, I think.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I might watch that one. Yeah.
I think every Alien fan at this point is just like, well, I guess I'll go see it.
Yeah, I probably won't see it in theaters because I'm at that point with movies. I just like like I liked Doom Part 1, so I went and saw Doom Part 2 in theaters.
Yeah, it is
But
Romulus. Yeah,
but because of how the Alien movies have been, I was like, I'm just gonna. I think I'll wait to see what people say about it before
I mean, has
watch
anyone
it.
liked an Alien movie since like Aliens in fucking 30 years ago or 40 years ago? I mean, Aliens 3 was like, ugh. 4
All right,
was
where's
trash.
Griffball? I have never
Prometheus. Oh,
set
really?
up a game for Griffball before, so I have no idea where it is.
Prometheus was fucking garbage. Covenant. I actually didn't see Covenant. I heard it was terrible.
It was pretty bad. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Chat's asking if it's a sequel to Prometheus or when it takes place in the timeline. I actually don't even know. I thought it was after Covenant. I thought it went
I don't think they
Prometheus,
said.
Covenant, and then Romulus. But
Yeah, I know they're promoting it with like it's gonna have more practical effects.
yeah, I mean that's not going to help the writing.
Yeah.
And then in the meantime, you've got like Alien vs Predator and all that shit too. Yeah, I mean that's a franchise that just way overstayed its welcome. I mean, I might watch it just to watch it, but I mean, does anyone have any hope? Like, if the movie ends up being a 4 out of 10, people will probably be like, "Well, thank God it wasn't a 2." It's the 7th installment in the Alien franchises, is what chat says, and it's set between Alien and Aliens. So it's gonna it's gonna unnecessarily retcon some shit and probably fuck it up.
Why did they do this?
Well, I mean, it's definitely a random point to pick in the timeline,
Mm.
story wise. That's what chat's saying. But like, for what they're going for, they're like, oh, these are the most 2 popular ones. Let's see if we can fucking squeeze something out of here. Because there's no creativity left. I mean,
Isn't it funny that like Star Wars or Disney Wars it is, they haven't all their TV shows are stuff that takes place before the sequels or back before the prequels. Like they're not doing anything to continue the story from the sequels on or trying to um do something different. Like people didn't like the
yeah.
sequels. So let's let's do something different, make it a bad dream. Like they're going back to either doing Mandalorian and Ahsoka that takes place after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, I mean, I think they don't have the confidence to. Like, I think if they were to be like, we're going to go 1,000 years forward or back, like, you still have the benefit of the Star Wars universe, but they don't have the confidence to like tell a story within the universe that anyone would give a shit about. So they're kind of stuck in this like 60-year window I mean, the Acolyte's the first thing outside of that. They went 100 years back, and in 4 episodes managed to fuck the story up. So I mean, I think at this point they're kind of just going down with the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Chad says if they go 1,000 years in the future, they'll just remake A New Hope again. That might be true. I mean, that's the problem is they're just so creatively bankrupt. Because the reality is, like, you could stay in this 60-year window of, prequels, originals, sequels, and I mean, you have a whole galaxy. Like, you could tell infinite fucking stories, but everything has to be tied into Skywalker. Everything has to be tied into Mando. Everything has to be tied to the Clone Wars. Because they're fucking too inept to do anything. Mm-hmm. Just saying, okay, like, these are the rules of the universe. Like, this is the world building. Now let me tell a good story. And they just can't do it. Huh. Jay says that John Woo is remaking one of his classic Hong Kong films, but it's going straight to Peacock. And he also says, please make it stop. That is crazy. Is it Mission Impossible 2?
Alright, do you know how to set up action? Is it action sack where Griffball is?
Maybe I thought there was a Griffball category. If there's not, just pick a. Isn't there just like a random games one?
Action sack.
Okay, yeah, like that's fine.
Okay. Your idol.
Oh, I am.
Yep. There you go.
Oh, okay. I just saw a menu, so I thought it was good to go. All right, I'll be right back. You can talk to chat for 30 seconds again.
Okay. I want to know what they're saying. Because I can't see. But hello, chat. I hope everyone's doing well.
Oh, iStat says you don't have the link?
No, I don't.
When I say talk to chat, I just meant talk about whatever you want.
Okay.
more just like fill dead air, not
Okay.
You don't have to address them, especially iStat. But yeah, it's a bummer. Like the Alien, Predator, and Terminator franchises all got started around the same time, like great sci-fi, and now they're just shells. I mean, you could throw Star Wars in there too if you want, I guess, and Star Trek and all of it, really. But I don't know. For some reason, I lump in Predator, Alien, and Terminator as kind of like an era, and it's just gone. And I am like dreading the day that George Lucas and Mark Hamill die, because Disney is going to announce Star Wars A New Hope, like shamelessly again.
Well, I think, have you seen the movie The Princess Bride?
Of course.
Okay. So there was talk of them remaking that a few years ago.
Who owns that? Do you know?
Who
owns the rights, I guess.
But the original cast got together and protested the movie being remade.
Good.
Which, good on them.
Yeah.
But I bet you any money, once they're dead.
Of course. And that's what I'm saying, is like, as soon as George Lucas goes, you know they've got the ad already announced. It'll be like in remembrance of George Lucas, date to date, we're honored to reboot A New Hope. And then it'll be like, you know, Leon Skywalker, who's a black guy with an afro and gay. And it'll just go from there. Chat says happy thoughts. Like Ma Dong Seok. Huh. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Jay. Sorry, what'd you say?
There's that there was a post about how black guys in like nowadays, they all like in no matter what genre it is, but especially like if it's sci-fi or post-apocalyptic, like they all seem to have the same kind of hairstyle. The hairstyle Yord has.
Oh yeah.
Like this.
Yeah, the rooster shit.
Yes, he's become like the standard hairstyle.
Yeah, I've been calling him Fusion Frenzy. It just looks so fucking stupid. But Jay says happy thoughts like Ma Dong Seok punching fools. I know who he is. He's the guy in Train to Busan and Badland Hunters, but I'm not sure what happy thoughts is. Or if,
Right,
if you're just saying happy
there might not be anyone
thoughts.
playing that.
Yeah, I know who he is. Let's see. iStat says Hollywood's just running out of ideas, and they really don't care. Don't care because too many people continue to watch these remakes over and over. I kind of agree, but now I feel like the well's kind of running dry. What are the other categories if Action Sack is dead?
Let's see. We got Slayer, Objective, Action Sack, SWAT, Snipers, Team Doubles, Rumble Pit, Infection, Big Team Battle, Firefight, Fiesta.
Well, we can do Fiesta if you want, since that's just random.
Okay.
And usually not too serious. Yeah, Hollywood is just fucking empty. Did you all see the video of that guy up at Disney where he just...
You're idle again?
Huh? Oh, am I idle again? What does that mean? Like, why? That's so weird.
You're not like moving your controller or anything. It's just like, oh, like you're not at the controls, so your player's sleeping.
Huh? It's just weird because like
search for him.
It's just showing me a menu with you and me in a party.
Oh yeah, so the way you check that would be, are you using a controller?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So you'd hit X, and that would show the roster. Then you would see if there are a couple Z's by your name.
Oh, okay.
And that means you're idle.
I've just never had that happen before. But yeah, Hollywood is just fucking empty. The Geeks and Gamers guy has been talking about it all day. This guy at Disney, I think he's a lawyer or something, was saying that his bosses have told him flat out, like, we're not going to hire white men for this role. So, and that's, you know, presumably behind the scenes at every level, I'm guessing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Jay's seen it. He says O'Keefe, honey trapping Disney was depressing, but we all know it was happening. Yeah, so essentially James O'Keefe, who used to run the Veritas. Now he just runs, I think it's just called O'Keefe Journalism. Sends in undercover journalists to talk about, like, to get these people to admit crazy shit. And the whole way that it seems to function is that guys are trying to impress these chicks and just spill the beans on everything. So essentially this high up guy, I think he was a lawyer, was just openly admitting that they have a lot of stuff where they're like, yeah, we're just not going to hire a white guy. And part of it too was that there was like mixed black people that they were like, oh, we don't want to hire them. They don't look black enough for what we want. So just overt fucking racism throughout Disney is how it sounded. So yeah, that's I'm sure a contributing factor to just all the horse shit going on over there. And then you got Amanda Steinfeld releasing fucking diss tracks.
Oh,
I mean, on top of the cringe, it's just unreal.
I watched Disbrew his video on her video or so-called song dance video.
It was awful.
It was. I've been asking people like, do you think this is worse than the Aquafina song in Little Mermaid?
What? Yeah, that was fucking terrible too. But that was terrible in like a, I don't know, at least she was like trying way. This was terrible in like a, I'm upset that people don't like the show.
Yeah.
I'm a big cunt.
So I'm gonna make it about race, and not that the writing's terrible or the acting's terrible.
Well, the crazy thing is like the best acting is probably from Squid Game.
Yeah.
And he can't speak English. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. Kill the enemy.
Ah.
And get random weapons.
Yeah, I like Fiesta. Fiesta is definitely one of those games that's fun, but I feel like every person thinks like, "Oh, I'm getting screwed out of having the good weapons."
Yes.
And then I see these guys with Spartan lasers, and it's like, "Fuck you."
Where'd you get that? Huh? Where'd you get that? Why can't I have one?
Yeah, where's my rocket launcher?
Why don't I have a rocket launcher? I got somebody.
Ah. I just keep picking up fuel rod cannons from dead people. The fuel rod cannon's great because the bullets bounce. So even if your aim is as shitty as mine, you still might get them. Oh, there's a guy above us.
Ooh, a hammer.
I mean, also with the fuel rod, you can just kind of be an idiot and spam, which is like what I'm doing right now. Yeah, Spartan laser. Oh, on my X, there's a guy with no shield. Fucking bastard. And yeah, as far as O'Keefe honey trapping people, to me the most depressing part about it is just how simple men are. That like, you throw a decent looking girl in front of them, they might get laid, and they just say everything. Fuck. Damn, we're getting destroyed.
Yeah.
I can't believe the MCC still has this much traffic, honestly.
Because not a lot of people like Halo Infinite.
Yeah,
but
that's
they want you to play Halo Infinite, so they're not doing anything to fix this game.
Like, I think Halo Infinite might be the biggest disappointment for me video game wise. It would either have to be Infinite or Andromeda. Because Andromeda, I was looking forward to so much. And there was just so many bugs in the game. And like, I wasn't someone who was super upset about like the face thing. I know a lot of people were. But just the, there's some like random broken shit. I think multiplayer didn't work at first. or it was like glitchy. And then the story itself was just like a shittier version of the originals. I mean, I liked Andromeda more than most people, but the story really was just like, well, we don't have the Reapers, but they do the same thing, but they're also just kind of annoying. And then the fact that it took, 7 years or whatever to come out, just not a great result. And then they also kind of went crazy with the sex scenes. Did you play Andromeda?
No. No, I did not.
If you ever get bored, you should look up just the romance scenes. It's like borderline pornographic.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need to watch that.
I was gonna say I actually wouldn't even pull it up on stream because I don't know if it would get flagged.
That it, or for you, or
Yeah, I'm gonna call it. It's 1:00 and
yeah.
I'm a boomer, so it's late. But I mean, it seems like the stream worked well. Yeah, maybe I don't know what your availability is, but maybe you can come on in a couple of Sundays or something if you'd like.
Sundays are you what, afternoons?
I start at noon.
Yeah. I usually have family around that
Okay.
yeah, it's not gonna be quiet.
All right. Well, in that case, maybe I'll just hop on with you another Wednesday or Friday night or whatever you normally do.
Yeah, I'll be getting on Wednesdays and Fridays because my Mondays now are watching House of the Dragon.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, just yeah, you can just reach out to me. All right. See you, Jay, and chat. You guys can go
chat.
check out Shamrock. She covers writing and stuff like I do. Puts a lot more effort into video editing for sure. But yeah, I'll be streaming Sunday. Hopefully I'll go see the bike riders tomorrow morning and put up a video. But yeah, I think that's it. Do you have anything, Shamrock, that you wanted to add?
No, like thank you guys for watching. Thanks for being chatty.
Yeah, thanks for not minding my minus 10 KD every game. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Hey, you were number 2 like one game.
I know the one game I was in the lead, I think we lost by like 20. So, all right, yeah, you can just I'll talk to you on Discord.
Okay.
All right, see ya, chat. Have a good night, everybody.